Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. The End of the World. Obtain a fishing system and Chaos God Thunder at the start. Chapter 21. Yi Feng looked at the method of use again, which was to put the necklace in contact with people of a certain ethnic group for 5 minutes. In other words, you need to get in touch with zombies. Yi Feng thought for a while, moved the debris away, and walked out of the store. There are many zombies wandering on the street. Yi Feng, with quick eyes and quick hands, grabbed the pale thigh of a zombie and ran back. Boom! His act of catching corpses naturally caused a zombie riot in the surrounding area. However, due to Yi Feng's extremely fast speed, he ran back to the store as soon as the other zombies were about to react. Close the door. Bang bang bang. Outside the door, a group of zombies smashed the door crazily. After Yi Feng blocked the door again, he then looked at the zombie he had captured. Yo! Or a female zombie. Black silk skirt, OL white collar suit, big waves. At this moment, it was facing Yi Feng, baring its teeth and claws, and kept roaring. Yi Feng took out the rope and tied up the zombie he had captured. Ho ho ho. Yi Feng frowned and stepped forward to have love with two. The white collar zombies suddenly became quiet. She was a little confused. What are you doing? In this life, no man has ever hit her. Hey, I'll give you a necklace. Yi Feng saw the zombie calm down, and then he put the necklace on her with satisfaction. Unexpectedly, after a while, ho ho ho, the white collar zombies continued to roar. Yi Feng ignored her, walked aside, took out a bag of melon seeds, and clicked on the short video to kill time. Click on a video, parents died tragically, please ask for help. Clicked on another one to record how the neighbor's zombie child tortured and killed his parents. Douyin has relaxed its censorship system. Now you can take photos of anything. Quote. Not in the mood to watch. Yi Feng closed the video and was filled with emotion. Alas, the era of big white legs is gone forever. 5 minutes later. Yi Feng slashed the white collar zombie to death. Take off the necklace, wash it with water and wear it on yourself. I don't know how the effect will be. Yi Feng murmured in his heart. Get up and click on the map on your phone. Yi Feng kept searching and soon locked the target. The largest shopping mall from me is the shopping mall Fortune Plaza. Yi Feng's idea is very simple. In shopping malls, there is usually a large supermarket. In a supermarket, there must be a huge amount of supplies. Evacuate the supermarket and you will no longer have to worry about supplies in a short time. Then, Yi Feng opened the door and walked out of the store. Zombies are still wandering on the streets. But this time, Yi Feng stood in front of a group of zombies, but they turned a blind eye. Yi Feng deliberately made noise and threw a stone. Wow! A large number of zombies raised their heads in unison, looking for the source of the sound. However, they still did not find Yi Feng. Yi Feng walked up to a strong zombie, waved his hand in front of it, and joked. I'm standing in front of you, and you see that I look a bit like before. The zombie tilted his head and raised his head in confusion, still unaware of Yi Feng's presence. Yi Feng thought for a while and realized that his backhand was a big punch. Snapped. The zombie was immediately beaten by Yi Feng and his body was rotated 360 degrees and fell heavily to the ground. Yi Feng naturally didn't use all his strength. If you slap it with all your strength, the zombie's head will definitely move. The next moment, the beaten zombie got up angrily, opened its bloody mouth, and bit Yi Feng. Hey, you can actually detect me. Yi Feng swung his knife and chopped off the zombie's head. Looking around, there are more and more zombies gathering around. They kept roaring and were a little restless. But they still couldn't detect Yi Feng. It seems that only after attacking a certain zombie will the zombie notice itself. This concealment necklace is really useful. Yi Feng's test is over and he is satisfied. If you all give way, why are you gathering people? As for you, get out of the way. Yi Feng was arrogant. After pushing a few zombies away, he squeezed out of the zombie group. It's time to go. Yi Feng's toes tapped the ground and his body rushed forward quickly. The surrounding high-rise buildings continued to extend backward. Yi Feng left a trail of afterimages in the air. On the street, there were only a lot of zombies left looking at each other, confused. Just now, something seemed to have happened. Yi Feng ran all the way. Hey, there's a convenience store. Yi Feng stopped. The street he is on now is relatively prosperous. On both sides of the street, there are scattered small supermarkets, convenience stores and the like. I don't have much supplies in my space, so why not replenish them here first? Thinking of this, Yifeng walked into the convenience store. There are several zombies wandering around in the convenience store. Yifeng entered it without attracting the attention of the zombies. So much food. Yifeng was a little surprised. The supermarket is not big, some shelves have fallen to the ground, and the whole space looks messy. There are a lot of snacks scattered everywhere on the ground. Ham sausage, bread, instant noodles, jelly, potato chips. There are also mineral water, various drinks, milk, canned fruits. All common supplies in supermarkets are available. Yifeng felt happy and unceremoniously put all these things together with the shelves into his storage space. In the corner of the supermarket, there are some daily necessities piled up, including dish soap, washing powder, seasonings, salt. Yifeng thought for a while and put these items into the space as well. Although these things cannot be eaten, if you want to live comfortably, you cannot do without these items. As Yifeng collected supplies, the zombies wandering in the supermarket became a little restless. They couldn't notice Yifeng, but they could feel that the things around them were decreasing. This made them a little restless. Ho ho ho! Several zombies began to roar. What a trouble! Yifeng took out the flame sword and immediately slashed with it. Swish! Several zombies, their heads fell to the ground. The body hit the ground, and dirty blood continued to flow out. After Yifeng disposed of a few zombies, he continued to search and made sure nothing was missed before leaving. The harvest is pretty good. Yifeng walked on the road, the corners of his mouth raised slightly. If that's the case, just build a few more. In the next quarter of an hour, Yifeng encountered several convenience stores in succession. He didn't let go and plundered all these convenience stores. Well, is there a pharmacy here? Drugs, there is a high probability that they will be a good thing in the apocalypse. The space is infinite anyway, so install more. Thinking of this, Yifeng walked towards the pharmacy. When Yifeng walked into the pharmacy, a mixed smell and the smell of disinfectant hit his nostrils. The disinfectant must have been spilled. He looked around and saw that the shelves were filled with various medicines, the counters were filled with bottles and cans, and two zombies were wandering around. With a thought in Yifeng's mind, a large number of medicines disappeared. Asatis root and aspirin that can treat colds. Ibuprofen, acetaminophen for fever. As well as Weishuping, anti-inflammatory and choleretic tablets that can treat gastrointestinal diseases. They were all put into storage space by Yifeng. At this time, the female zombies in white nurse uniforms at both ends of the pharmacy noticed that the goods were decreasing and began to become restless. Ho ho ho! They were a little unhappy. What's going on? Why are things missing? However, they were unable to notice Yifeng's presence and could only spin around in a hurry, anxious. The effect of the concealment necklace is great. In Yifeng's heart, he once again expressed his heartfelt praise. Yifeng continued to walk forward, but the nurse pretended to be a zombie, blocking his way. Yifeng put his hand on the nurse zombie's chest and gently pushed it aside. It feels a little hard. Yifeng looked emotional and continued to collect medicines. The two zombies were naturally confused and at a loss. Only when Yifeng takes the initiative to attack the zombies will the zombies become aware of Yifeng's presence. Pushing a zombie is not considered an attack. In addition to therapeutic drugs, Yifeng also collected pianping, eye drops, eye ointments. There are even Fuyanji, Wuji Baifeng pills, etc. that treat common diseases of women. After Yifeng emptied the pharmacy, he turned around and left with satisfaction. After leaving the pharmacy, Yifeng continued to move forward rapidly. Not long after, Yifeng met another supermarket. This supermarket is larger than the convenience store Yifeng searched for before. But the door of this supermarket is locked. Yifeng swung his knife and chopped the door lock into pieces. Later, Yifeng stepped into the supermarket and was about to collect the items. At this moment, Yifeng raised his eyebrows and stopped his movements. There seemed to be some supplies missing on the shelves, and there were no zombies in the supermarket. Yifeng felt something was wrong and listened carefully. In the corner, there was an extremely slight sound of breathing. Are there survivors? Yifeng frowned. Then, he pretended not to know and began to search for supplies. Following Yifeng's thought, a large amount of materials were moved into the space. He didn't bother to hide his storage space either. Anyway, so far, everyone knows about the superpowers. All kinds of superpowers are even more diverse. As long as Yifeng declares that he is a space superpower, he will not arouse suspicion at all, and naturally the existence of the system will not be exposed. Swish, swish, swish. As Yifeng continued to collect supplies, the shelves were reduced one after another. Yifeng gradually approached the hiding place of the survivors. Something moved in my heart. The corners of Yifeng's mouth turned up, deliberately showing off a flaw, and turned his back to the person who was hiding. Suddenly, the man's breathing became rapid. The next moment, a loud shout came. "You go to hell." Inside the supermarket, a middle-aged man, holding a fire axe, slashed at Yifeng fiercely. Yifeng was well prepared. He dodged gracefully and easily avoided the man's attack, followed by a flying kick. Although he didn't use all his strength, Yifeng still kicked the man several meters away. Plop! The man fell heavily to the ground, and the fire axe fell out of his hand. Yifeng took out the fire knife and stared at the man who attacked him with cold eyes. Ah! Ouch! The man was kicked by Yifeng and was a little stunned. He lay on the ground and kept moaning. When Yifeng approached, the man slowed down. He glanced at Yifeng and saw Yifeng holding a sharp blade with murderous intent. This scene scared the man to the point of death, and he quickly knelt down and begged for mercy. "Brother, please, please spare me. I'm obsessed with it." The man looked middle-aged, had a sharp mouth and monkey cheeks, and was crying bitterly. Yifeng raised the flaming sword and said with murderous intent in his eyes. "I didn't offend you, did I? Why did you sneak attack me?" The man's face was pale, his body was shaking, and he explained hurriedly. Brother, it's my fault. I am the owner of this supermarket, and the supplies in the entire supermarket belong to me. I am afraid that you will come over and steal it from me." "Does this supermarket belong to you?" Yifeng's eyes moved slightly. It's mine, the man answered quickly. Yifeng was thoughtful. In fact, the man is lying. He is just a customer, not the boss. When the doomsday came, only a man and a female clerk were in the supermarket. Fortunately, neither of them turned into zombies. Relying on the supplies in this supermarket, the two of them naturally don't have to worry about food. However, the two later had differences. The female clerk wanted to help other survivors and rescue others into the supermarket. Anyway, there were enough supplies. The middle-aged man naturally objected strongly and called the female clerk a holy mother. Later, the middle-aged man even attacked the female clerk and tied her up. In the end, he was brutally killed and monopolized the supermarket. However, Yifeng naturally did not know about these situations. The man kept kneeling down and begging for mercy. "This is my supermarket, and I'm afraid you'll steal my supplies, so I'm so obsessed with it that I launch a sneak attack. Please forgive me." The middle-aged man was trembling all over, and cold sweat broke out on his forehead. Yifeng chuckled and said, "I see, the supplies in this supermarket are all yours." No, I am willing to give this supermarket to you. From now on, you are the owner of this supermarket," the middle-aged man said with a flattering look. Yifeng touched his chin and seemed a little hesitant. Seeing this, the man gritted his teeth and knelt down to kowtow. "I am willing to be your subordinate and a dog for you. I ask for your forgiveness." Yifeng pondered for a moment and said, "If that's the case, then I'll let you go." The man immediately showed a look of ecstasy. It's impossible to let you go." Yifeng changed his tone and smiled jokingly. "Hey." The man's smile suddenly solidified on his face. Yifeng stared at the man and, the red malice emanating from him, and said slowly, "I will give you a good time." The man's body was as cold as ice. No, please spare my life." Yifeng looked cold and unmoved. No, I will fight with you." The man looked ferocious and rushed towards Yifeng with his fists waving. Yifeng flicked his fingers, and lightning flashed. Boom! The man's body suddenly stiffened, and his eyes showed fear. The next moment, the body suddenly shattered and turned into powder and disappeared. Be able to bend and stretch, and be decisive in taking action. What a pity. You met me. Yifeng began to collect supplies here. There are still a lot of supplies in this supermarket. Even if some are used by middle-aged men, they are far more than the previous convenience stores. Mineral water, biscuits, instant noodles, cans, put all the supplies here into the space. Yifeng walked out of the supermarket and continued walking. Next, Yifeng continued to collect all the way. Gas stations, various types of gasoline and diesel, all packed and taken away. Ice cream shop, take everything away. Cafe, ransacked. The condiment store will be vacated immediately. Hardware stores, underwear stores, milk tea shops, hot pot restaurants, they were all vacated, and no tables were left alone. Yifeng searched wildly and was extremely happy. After a while, he slowly stopped this behavior. Incoming materials into space requires the consumption of mental strength. Yifeng moved a lot and was a little exhausted. What's more, there are too many street shops in the city. It's really a waste of time to search one by one. Yifeng was already a little dissatisfied with making small fuss. Ignore the small goals along the way, let's go to the big supermarket first. Soon, Yifeng made up his mind. However, just running all the way there is really stupid. However, driving is also out of the question. This is a bustling city center, and the roads are full of zombies and abandoned cars. Some roads have long been blocked, making it impossible to drive a car. However, just because it is inconvenient to drive a car, it does not mean that you cannot use other forms of transportation. Yifeng stopped and walked along the way, his eyes constantly scanning the surroundings. Soon his eyes lit up. On the street, there was an electric car lying on the road, which seemed to be in good condition. This thing is great, it just suits the current situation. Yifeng walked to the electric car and found that there was still a key hanging on the electric car. After lifting up and starting the electric car, everything was fine and the electric car even had a lot of electricity. Yifeng nodded with satisfaction, got on the car, hummed a little song, and started to move forward. Ride my beloved motorcycle, and you will never be stuck in traffic. Yifeng did not slow down and shuttled among a large number of cars and zombies. Sometimes it's an S shape, sometimes it's a Z shape. From time to time, he pressed the horn and beeped twice. The zombies naturally couldn't find Yifeng and could only run around like headless flies. Big head, deep doubts. Yifeng's unscrupulous behavior was not noticed by the zombies. However, people can see it. His behavior was witnessed by a large number of survivors. Everyone was amazed. I'm sorry, how did this person do it? Why didn't the zombies attack him? My pie, it's not fair. I sneaked downstairs, and the zombies would yell at me even if I farted. Yeah, why is he so arrogant? That's it, ride a small electric car, and sometimes it even beeps for a few times. Don't worry about the zombies. Quote. Someone even took a video and posted it to the city forum. It immediately sparked a lot of discussion. I'm going to get out of here, there's no reason for this. Yeah, it's not scientific at all. Upstairs, the zombies are here and you have superpowers. Are you still here talking about science? What a man of God. Even though I am a superhuman being, I am always on thin ice when it comes to zombies. Once I fall into a swarm of zombies, I will be doomed. Quote. Is there a possibility that he is also a superpower, but what he awakened is not a combat superpower but some kind of hidden skill? It's very possible. Quote. Discussions continue online. On the street, Yifeng continued to drive with all his strength. In fact, along the way, there were no survivors who asked him for help. However, Yifeng ignored him at all. As the saying goes, everyone sweeps the snow in front of their door, and don't worry about the frost on other people's tiles. Just as Yifeng was riding a small electric car coolly, galloping around at will. In a small house on the 4th floor of the street, a girl ignited the light of hope. Her name is Li Yiki, and she is a well-known internet celebrity. After the doomsday came, she had been hiding in the house. But now, the food is almost gone, so Li Yiki naturally needs to consider her options. By coincidence, she happened to be on the city forum and came across Yifeng's video. While she was feeling angry, she turned around and saw Yifeng riding a small electric car in her direction. Li Yiki was very excited. He must be the legendary superpower. Although I'm not a superpower in combat, I'm a bit weak. But having the ability to make zombies invisible is not bad. Perhaps he can protect me, and provide some food even in the worst case. The best choice to be a temporary boyfriend. Thinking of this, Li Yiki hurriedly leaned on the window, trying her best to show off her plump breasts, and shouted anxiously. Brother, handsome brother, can you save me? If you save someone's life, they can consider becoming your girlfriend. Little brother, Li Yiki yelled a few more times. Still didn't attract Yi Feng's attention. Wow, Li Yiki's shout attracted a lot of zombies to her downstairs. Zombies kept gathering and roaring constantly. This situation made her jump anxiously. So angry, Li Yiki continued to shout a few more times. Seeing Yi Feng continue to ignore her, Li Yiki frowned slightly, looking unhappy. Little brother, hey, can't you hear me? I asked you to save me. You are deaf. Yi Feng still didn't even look at her. Along the way, there were countless people asking for help, like crucian carp crossing a river. Yi Feng couldn't save him at all. Not prepared to save either. Seeing that Yi Feng still ignored her, Li Yiki became angry. She gritted her teeth and said angrily, Okay, you're ignoring me, right? Look around. Li Yiki's eyes lit up. She picked up the stool at home and came to the window again. He raised the stool fiercely, pointed it in the direction of Yi Feng, and threw it down. The stool drew a parabola in the air. Snapped. It hit the ground hard, cracked on the spot, and made a loud noise. The loud sound attracted the zombies around. Woohoo! The zombies are surging, swarming each other, and constantly gathering. Yi Feng was suddenly surrounded by a group of zombies and was unable to move forward. Yi Feng frowned and stepped on the brakes. A large wave of zombies surrounded Yi Feng, restless and looking left and right. Unfortunately, they just couldn't find Yi Feng. Li Yiki was pleasantly surprised. Did the zombies really not attack Yi Feng? It seems that the man in front of me is really capable. It's barely worthy of me. Little brother, Li Yiki spoke softly. This time, Yi Feng raised his head and looked at internet celebrity Li Yiki with cold eyes. Did you throw this stool away? Li Yiki was very happy that she finally attracted Yi Feng's attention. With his stunning looks, he is sure to win hearts. Yes, it is. Don't I think you're ignoring me? Little brother, please come and save me. I am willing to be with you. Li Yiki straightened her towering chest, deliberately revealing her white collarbones and a hint of snow-white ravine. Yi Feng glanced at this woman. She is somewhat pretty, but compared to Lin Xiaoxiao, she is still far behind. Yi Feng uttered 3 words indifferently. You don't deserve it. Li Yiki's beautiful eyes widened. Shocked, I couldn't even believe my ears for a while. Who is she? She was Li Yiki, the class beauty of her former school and known as the super pretty girl. Nowadays, he is also a well-known internet celebrity with a total of 200,000 fans. I sent it to my door on my own initiative, but was rejected. You said I'm not worthy of you. Li Yiki looked in disbelief and pointed at herself. Yes, not worthy. Even if it's reversed, I'll despise it. Yi Feng sneered. Dislike. Li Yiki was immediately furious. How had she ever received such contempt? She broke, breaking the defense on the spot. Haha, you say I'm not worthy. Do you still dislike me? Man, are you blind? It's so funny, I don't deserve it, haha. Li Yiki was so angry that her back molars were almost broken. Don't take a piss to look at yourself. You don't look down on me. I don't look down on you. Li Yiki was furious and cursed. Disgusting. Fu Shinin, you are so arrogant. A stinky loser who lives at the bottom of society has now awakened a terrible ability. Oh. You are so amazing. Quote. These words of Li Yiki reached Yi Feng's ears without missing a beat. This time he also laughed out loud. Good guy, the end of the world has been here for several days. He felt that all survivors should become smarter. Unexpectedly, nowadays, there are still people actively seeking death. Okay, I'll make it happen for you. A sneer appeared at the corner of Yi Feng's mouth. A thought. An extra pistol appeared in his hand instantly. It's the Desert Eagle. On the other side, Li Yiki leaned on the window edge with her hands, leaned out of the window, and continued to curse Yi Feng. The lower man. Quote. I gave you shame for saying that to me. Smelly man, what kind of eyesight do you have? It's better not to have 2 eyes at all. Li Yiki's saliva flew everywhere. Yi Feng loaded the bullet, raised the gun, and adjusted the angle. Pull the trigger and get it done in one go. Boom. A gunshot. Bullets shot out. Puff. This shot happened to blow up Li Yiqi's silicone breasts. "Aw wow," Li Yiqi screamed and was frightened on the spot. She didn't understand what was happening, her mouth was opening and closing, and she was still moving. Bang, bang, Yi Feng showed no mercy and continued to fire 2 shots. These 2 shots directly penetrated Li Yiqi's hands. "Ah!" Li Yiqi screamed as severe pain hit her. At the same time, her body lost balance and she fell upside down from the window, landing heavily on the zombies below. "Ah!" Li Yiqi's heart-rending scream echoed in the air. The zombies downstairs have nothing to do. They were so happy when they saw the delicious food hit directly on their heads. Everyone swarmed forward, biting Li Yiqi's body with their sharp teeth. "No no. Ah, don't." Li Yiqi, who was among the zombies, kept screaming in agony at first, but then her voice gradually disappeared. The zombies tore it to pieces, with flesh and blood flying everywhere, and the scene was very bloody. Yi Feng smiled indifferently, watching Li Yiqi die tragically on the spot, and then put the pistol back into space. Then he rode away on a small electric car. He didn't feel any guilt for killing Li Yiqi. Anyway, a fool like this can't live for more than a few days. I sent her out of the way in advance to save her from continuing to suffer in the world. From this perspective, I am really kind. Yi Feng thought leisurely. Move on. Not long after, Yi Feng discovered that there was a police station not far away. Police station, Yi Feng thought. Going or not, there are most likely firearms in the police station. Thinking of the power of the Desert Eagle just now, Yi Feng decided to take a look. It's definitely not a loss if you can get some firearms. In the early days of the apocalypse, firearms are actually more useful than many abilities. There is no harm in stocking up on more firearms. Even if you can't use it yourself, you can still use it for others. I just don't know if there are still police there. Yi Feng murmured to himself. In the last days, there are usually 3 forms in the police station. In the first type, the police occupy a dominant position and order is maintained. In the second type, criminals dominate the police station and the police station becomes a paradise of crime. In the third type, zombies dominate and there are no survivors in the police station. All of these situations may occur. I don't know what kind of situation I will encounter. Yi Feng didn't think much and ran towards the police station. Police station. Inside the spacious hall, 4 men covered in tattoos were puffing away their words and chatting. This apocalypse has come just in time. Yeah, this is our world. The woman yesterday was so ignorant of praise. She finally surrendered to Brother Scar's brave gun. Unfortunately, I was having too much fun yesterday and accidentally killed him, so I didn't get to play today. One of them, Scarface, laughed. Don't worry, Huang San sent me a message. He got 3 more top quality items and will be back soon. According to what he said, it's really the best. Brother, is it true? The 3 younger brothers suddenly became energetic. Scarface looked proud and said matter-of-factly. Then there are fake ones. The end of the world is our paradise, women can choose whatever they want. From now on, if you hang out with me, I guarantee that you will all be the best. Hearing this, the 3 younger brothers nodded repeatedly with flattering expressions on their faces. The boss is wise and powerful. Boss, we will definitely mess with you. It turns out that after the end of the world comes, most of the police officers in this police station turned into zombies, and their number suddenly dropped to 80%. The scene was extremely chaotic for a time. These criminals, who were temporarily detained here, under the leadership of Scarface Xie Wendong, took the opportunity to seize the firearms, captured the remaining police officers, and occupied this place. Later, these criminals saw that the apocalypse was getting worse, zombies were rampant, and the national order was on the verge of collapse. They went on, frantically killing all the policemen they caught. Scarface Xie Wendong is the boss. He used the firearms in the police station to form a gang of 8 people and used the police station as his lair. They were divided into 2 teams and took turns going out to search for supplies. One team is led by Scarface Xie Wendong, and the other team is led by Huang Wenlong. When they meet survivors, the men will be killed, and the women will be deceived or forced to take them back to their lair for their pleasure. While several people were chatting, the 4 gangsters who went out were equipped with firearms and backpacks, and returned with full loads. Boss, we are back. The leader, with yellow hair and a handsome face, is Huang Wenlong. They also escorted a man and 2 women. The man wore gold-rimmed glasses, had messy hair, and looked like a gentle scumbag. 2 women, a young woman and a young girl. The young woman has a beautiful appearance and a hot figure. Girls are young, cute and lovable. At this moment, all 3 of them looked horrified. Unfortunately, their hands were tied with tape, their mouths were sealed, and they could not speak. Scar-faced Xie Wendong frowned slightly and said with some displeasure. "Didn't you say kill the man?" Huang Wenlong smiled lewdly. "Boss, you know me. And this man has a special status. He is not only the husband of this young woman, but also the biological brother of this girl. With him here, everyone may have more fun." Huang Wenlong chuckled with a vulgar expression. All the younger brothers also laughed understandingly. Scar-faced Xie Wendong waved his hand helplessly. "As you wish." He looked at the 2 women again, and then nodded with satisfaction. "I arranged for these 2 women to take a bath. They smell too much. Also, I want to take the lead, you are not allowed to snatch me." When the younger brothers heard this, they burst into laughter. "That's natural, boss, you go first. Haha, the boss eats meat, and we drink soup." Everyone laughed freely. The 2 women were pushed into the bathroom with panic on their faces. The man with glasses who was left behind was trembling with fear. Huang Wenlong walked up to the man, his eyes burning. Scar-faced Xie Wendong frowned slightly and said with some disgust. "Hurry up, and we won't leave any hidden dangers. When finished, dispose of it immediately." Huang Wenlong smiled evilly. "Don't worry, I'll make a quick decision." Huang Wenlong reached out and removed the tape from the man's mouth. Then he leaned forward and stretched out An Lucian's hand. Only then did the handsome man react with disgust on his face. "No, get out. Get out of here. Don't be like this. My father is the president of a bank. I can give you a lot of money. Please let me go." Huang Wenlong looked disdainful and mocked. "What time has it been? Money is just waste paper now." Handsome man struggling desperately. No one knows that there is a pair of eyes in the dark at this moment, watching everything here. This person is Yi Feng. It turned out that when Yi Feng approached the police station, he happened to encounter a group of 4 returning with a full load. They are covered in tattoos, carry guns, and speak foul language. 3 other people were also escorted. Yi Feng immediately concluded that the prisoners were dominant inside. Then he quietly followed them, entered the police station, and observed in secret. When Yi Feng saw clearly the people in the hall, he was suddenly surprised. "Li Shihao, I didn't expect you to have such an experience." "Haha, that's really interesting." Yi Feng recognized many people present. In the previous life, the handsome man who was tied up was the boss of a small force. His name was Li Shihao, and his superpower was to release poisonous mist. He also has a beautiful wife and lovely sister, both of whom are superpowers. As for Scarface Xie Wendong, he is also a superpower and the leader of a force. As for the yellow-haired Huang Wenlong, Yi Feng didn't know him, so he probably died early. Thinking of this, Yi Feng's eyes were full of surprise. He would have never imagined that so many acquaintances would gather in a small police station. Yi Feng, Li Shihao and Xie Wendong all had some holidays. He once had a conflict with Li Shihao, and his skin was corroded by the poisonous mist of the supernatural power, leaving permanent scars. I was once squeezed by Xie Wendong's team in a transaction, and I dared not speak out in anger. However, today is different from the past. Yi Feng sneered. "Forget it if you can't meet it. Since we happen to meet, then leave no one behind." Yi Feng looked on coldly. Huang Wenlong leaned forward. "Dog bites dog, what a great show." Yi Feng watched with interest. Inside the police station. After 10 minutes, the drama ended. Li Shihao's eyes were dull and lifeless. At this moment, the 2 women taking a shower were taken out. The eyes of all the men present lit up. After bathing, the 2 girls were both pretty. A beautiful young woman with a lot of charm, fair skin and a curvy figure, she is Li Shihao's wife, named Song Yaji. A pretty girl with a pure temperament, youthful beauty, and a good figure. She is Li Shihao's younger sister, named Li Qingyan. Yi Feng's eyes moved slightly. These 2 women later awakened their powers and were Li Shihao's right-hand assistants. In previous lives, both women are the envy of Yi Feng's girlfriend Li Yating. They live a luxurious life and never worry about food and drink. Li Yachting has complained more than once, when will he, Yifeng, let her live a life as free and unrestrained as Song Yaji's before he can be considered a real man? Thinking of this, the corner of Yifeng's mouth curled up. He never thought that Li Shihao, his wife and sister, would have experienced this kind of experience. It's true that everyone has a bad past. No wonder I heard in my previous life that Li Shihao and Xie Wendong had a deep hatred. I just don't know how Li Shihao escaped in his previous life. A flash of doubt flashed in Yifeng's eyes. Inside the venue, scar-faced Xie Wendong stared at Song Yaji and Li Qingyan greedily. He kept swallowing his saliva and approached the two girls step by step. Haha, they are all really beauties in the world. Song Yaji and Li Qingyan were both trembling with panic on their faces. Husband, save me. You, don't come over. Scar-faced Xie Wendong smiled lewdly. Just scream, just scream. No one will save you even if your throat is broken. Afterwards, Xie Wendong was like a hungry tiger pouncing on food. Time. The sound of cracking silk is constant. A woman's cry could be heard. On the other side, Li Shihao heard his wife's cry and came to his senses. Seeing this, his eyes were about to burst and he cursed loudly. A group of garbage. Beast, let go of my wife, let go of my sister. Come to me if you can. Huang Wenlong took a step forward, appeared in front of the man, and said with a strange smile. Come at you, baby. You have quite a bit of backbone. Li Shihao was startled when he saw Huang Wenlong coming. His body couldn't help but tremble, and he immediately clamped his legs together, showing a look of fear, and shouted in horror. Don't, no. You, don't come here. Huang Wenlong took out his pistol. He pointed the gun at Li Shihao and said with regret. You are very smooth, I like it very much. Unfortunately, my boss thinks we don't need other men here for the time being. So I have to ask you to die. Huang Wenlong's tone was frivolous. After Li Shihao heard this, his body couldn't help trembling and he kept begging for mercy. No. Don't kill me. I can join you, please, let me go. Huang Wenlong smiled disdainfully. We don't need a wimp like you. As for your wife and sister, my boss and brother will take care of them for you. With that said, Huang Wenlong was about to pull the trigger. No, do not want. I can also serve you. The man shouted hurriedly. Huang Wenlong looked confused and turned to look at Scarface. When he finds out that the boss Xie Wendong is about to mount his horse, he picks up his gun. He had no time to deal with himself at all. Huang Wenlong shrugged unwillingly and said with a sinister smile. My boss won't let me, I'm sorry. Ah! Li Shihao screamed in fright, became incontinent, and yellow and white fluids leaked out. No, do not want. Huang Wenlong frowned, moved his finger slightly, and was about to pull the trigger. Next moment, a stone flew at extremely high speed and instantly pierced the back of Huang Wenlong's hand. Poof! Blood dripped and the pistol fell to the ground. Ah! Huang Wenlong felt a heartbreaking pain and screamed in pain. Who is it? What's the situation? Upon seeing this sudden change, Xie Wendong immediately got up from the woman and hurriedly took out his gun. The other 6 boys also looked panicked and raised their guns one after another and stood up on guard. Outside the door, Yifeng walked out slowly. Only when you take revenge with your own hands will you be happy. Yifeng looked at the whole place with a playful look. Haha, what a good show. As if Li Shihao was reborn, he hurriedly asked for help. Brother, save me, help me. Song Yaji and Li Qingyan took advantage of the chaos and hid in the bathroom, huddled in the corner and shivered. Huang Wenlong's palms were bleeding, and he was sweating from the pain. He roared with a venomous look on his face. Ah, my hand. Kill, boss, kill him quickly. Avenge me. Scarface Xie Wendong is also very decisive. Before Huang Wenlong uttered a warning, he had already raised his gun and fired. No matter who you are, just die. Shoot, shoot everyone. Xie Wendong looked ferocious and pulled the trigger. Being interrupted from casting a spell, he became very angry. His younger brothers also raised their guns and shot at Yifeng. Hit him, beat him to death. Bang 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 bang. Bullets flew out one after another and hit Yifeng's body. Xie Wendong looked confident. His younger brothers also had triumphant smiles on their faces. In their opinion, Yi Feng must be beaten into a sieve. The next moment, everyone's eyes were wide-eyed with disbelief. I saw Yi Feng's body shrouded in a golden light. All the bullets that landed on Yi Feng were bounced away by this golden light. Yi Feng was unscathed. What the hell? OMG. This is impossible. Oh my god, is it the golden bell? Everyone looked panicked and their eyes were full of disbelief. Xie Wendong was also shocked and his eyes almost popped out. However, there were also gangsters with quick minds who exclaimed, "Oh my god, is there such a supernatural power in this world?" Only then did everyone suddenly realize. It's a superpower. A defensive ability. Yi Feng's body was bathed in golden light and he slowly stepped forward, like a god of war. All the gangsters turned pale and trembled all over. "Boss, what should I do? He is a superpower. What superpower is this? It's over. It's over." Quote. Xie Wendong took a deep breath and forced out a smile. He bent down and said respectfully, "My friend, I was the one who spoke too loudly just now. Quote. I'm too impulsive, I apologize to you." Before Scarface could finish speaking, Yi Feng interrupted. "Did you feel good about coming in me just now? Now, it's my turn." Yi Feng finished speaking. A thought came to my mind. A desert eagle appeared in his hand. When Xie Wendong saw this, his expression changed drastically and he subconsciously raised his gun to shoot. At the same time, Yi Feng also pulled the trigger and shot decisively. Bang, bang, 2 bullets flew out. The bullet fired at Yi Feng was bounced away by the golden light of his protective body. The bullet fired at Scar's face hit him right between the eyebrows. Blood splatters. The scar-faced Xie Wendong's eyes widened, his mind widened on his forehead, and his body slowly fell to the ground. He died peacefully. Before dying, there was only one thought in my mind. Something is wrong. Xie Wendong is dead. Inside the police station, the scene suddenly became chaotic. Oh my god, it's over, boss. When the other 6 hooligans saw this, they immediately ran away. It's not that they are not brave, it's just that they are powerless. The other side will shoot us one by one. When we fight each other, they are indestructible. How can I fight this? If there is a hang-up, you can't fight at all. Run, run, run. Yi Feng looked at these defeated gangsters. The corners of his mouth were raised slightly. Directly transform into a sharpshooter and continuously pull the trigger. A series of bullets burst out. Bang 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 bang. One shot at a time, all headshots. The 6 gangsters all fell to the ground dead. My shooting skills are so good. Yi Feng was satisfied. After being strengthened by the shooting mastery scroll, he became a complete marksman. By the way, there's still one more person I haven't killed yet. Yi Feng turned around and was slightly startled. Huang Wenlong, whose face was pale, was seen holding a dagger with his other good hand and holding it against Li Shihao's throat. He looked fierce and angry, shouting crazily. "You came here to save him, right? Look clearly, the pretty boy is currently in my hands." Huang Wenlong carefully hid his body behind Li Shihao, endured the severe pain, and continued to threaten loudly. "Quick, let me go. Look clearly, I have a hostage. If you shoot, I will kill him." At this time, Li Shihao, who was the hostage, looked even more frightened and said hurriedly, "Brother, don't shoot. Save me quickly." "Yi Feng, what's going on? Save him." Yi Feng looked amused. A series of questions emerged in Yi Feng's mind. After he figured it out, he almost laughed out loud. Huang Wenlong actually thought that he was here to save Li Shihao. How hilarious. Yi Feng sat relaxedly on the chair and said slowly with a playful expression, "Xiao Wangmao, I think you did something wrong. I was just passing by to pick up some weapons. I saved him just now because my hands were itchy and I wanted to see how the plot develops. After all, I can't figure out how he survived and awakened his powers." Huang Wenlong couldn't understand Yi Feng's words, and he continued to speak loudly with an expression of disbelief on his face. "You mad? Stop lying to me. Now, immediately, put down the pistol. If you dare to come near me, he will die." The corners of Yi Feng's mouth rose and he almost laughed out loud. "The desert eagle that I keep playing with in my hand. Hey, I won't let go, I'm just playing." From time to time, he pointed his gun at Huang Wenlong. Huang Wenlong and Li Shihao were both frightened. The fear in Huang Wenlong's heart was getting deeper and deeper. Yifeng suddenly caught a glimpse of a jet of black smoke suddenly emerging from the fingers of Li Shihao's right hand. But Huang Wenlong knew nothing about it and was still yelling. The next moment, a roar came out. Go to hell! With black smoke billowing from his hand, Li Shihao suddenly turned around and pressed his palm directly on Huang Wenlong's face. Zilla zilla! The black poisonous smoke quickly corroded Huang Wenlong's face. No, no! Ah! Huang Wenlong screamed, and soon there was no sound. A few seconds later, Huang Wenlong was poisoned and died. That's it, the poisonous smoke power. Thinking of the last life, he was corroded by the poisonous smoke, leaving permanent scars. A trace of killing intent flashed in Yifeng's eyes. After Li Shihao killed Huang Wenlong, he stared blankly at the palm of his hand. I did this. I have become a superpower. A rare superpower. Li Shihao suddenly looked excited and arrogant. It's so cool. I'm a superpower. Ha ha ha, with this ability, I, Li Shihao, will surely soar into the sky. Yifeng nodded, with a playful look on his face. Have you awakened your superpower? It's still rare, congratulations. Li Shihao slowly calmed down, looking at Yifeng, a trace of fear flashed in his eyes, and then he smiled again. Benefactor, you are my savior, Li Shihao. What is your surname? I will definitely repay you. Yifeng asked with a smile. Li Shihao, you survived such a danger and awakened your powers. You must be in a good mood, right? Li Shihao nodded subconsciously, his face full of joy. Of course, I'm so excited now, haha. Li Shihao couldn't help laughing again. Boom! In an instant, a grey thunder struck down and hit Li Shihao's Tianling cap. Ah! Li Shihao screamed and his smile froze. Yifeng smiled slightly. You are happy too early. Li Shihao's eyes were full of confusion. He didn't understand. What happened? The breeze blows. Wow! His body was instantly reduced to rubbish. Li Shihao, die. A lightning strikes to solve the problem. Yifeng smiled with satisfaction. Li Shihao's final performance also solved Yifeng's doubts. In the previous life, Li Shihao probably succeeded in breaking out at the last moment, awakening the power of the poisonous mist and killing Huang Mao. He also rescued his wife and sister, and survived the desperate situation. After taking revenge, Yifeng was in a good mood. Looking around the entire field, all the enemies were dead. Yifeng put the pistols on the ground into the storage space one by one. After cleaning the battlefield, Yifeng felt satisfied. Pistols are still very good weapons in the early days of the apocalypse. At this moment, a weak female voice suddenly came. Excuse me, are you a rescue worker? Yifeng looked up and saw two women carefully walking out of the bathroom. A young woman, a girl. Both of them were disheveled, with large areas of snow-white skin exposed. Seeing the debris on the ground, the two women's eyes flashed with sadness. Yifeng knew that the two women were Li Shihao's wife Song Yaji, and his sister Li Qingyan. Both of them are beauties, and both were supernatural beings in their previous lives. They are two good talents. Yifeng sensed it briefly, but did not trigger any malicious perception. I am not a rescuer, and I am not prepared to save you. After that, Yifeng ignored them and walked straight into the depths of the police station. The two women were left with blank expressions on their faces, looking at the whole place where blood and flesh were flying everywhere, and they were at a loss what to do. Yifeng walked into the house and began to search the police station. There are also pistols and rifles in the gun safe. Too bad it's locked, without a code. A bolt of lightning struck. The safe was damaged on the spot and was smoking. Yifeng glanced and directly put the pistol and rifle inside into the space. Then Yifeng continued to search. There are 3 boxes of bullets here, not bad, take them away. Brand new combat uniforms and combat vests, take them away. Is this a strong flashlight and electric shock baton? Take them away too. Quote. Yifeng swept through the police station and pretended to leave no matter what he saw. Including security sticks, handcuffs, combat boots, leg holsters, body armor, riot shields. There are even tear gas cannons and tear injectors. Yifeng doesn't know if these are useful. Anyway, the space is infinite, so just take it and be done. Not long after, Yifeng basically ransacked the entire police station. When he walked to the door again, the two women were already dressed and looking gorgeous, waiting here for a long time. Please wait. Yifeng glanced at the two girls casually. A trace of amusement flashed in Yifeng's eyes. Sir, please take us away. If we stay here alone, we will definitely die. The two women's eyes were red and pitiful, and their expressions were somewhat coquettish, as if they had made some kind of determination. Yifeng felt a little melancholy and sighed in his heart. What a pity that two beauties will still be superpowers in the future. There was a hint of regret at the corner of Yifeng's mouth and he said, what a pity. As soon as these words came out, the two women were confused and looked confused. Li Qingyan lowered her head and looked at a loss. Song Yaji even forced a smile and said carefully. First, sir, what are you talking about? You saved us. Yifeng interrupted the two girls. Want to avenge Li Shihao? As soon as these words came out, the two women's expressions suddenly changed. What? Yifeng waved his hand and said with an indifferent expression. That's all, right or wrong, it doesn't matter. Yifeng moved his wrist. Boom, two gray arcs fell suddenly. No, the two women looked panicked, their expressions frozen instantly. The next moment, her delicate body turned into powder. Yifeng's eyes were as calm as water. At first, he didn't want to kill the two girls. But after Yifeng searched the police station, before leaving, he discovered that the two women had a lot of ill intentions towards him. The reason why the malicious perception was not triggered at the beginning was because I didn't witness Li Shihao's death, or didn't react. But then you should have guessed that it was me who killed Li Shihao, and hatred arose from that. They are all red and malicious, and they obviously have revenge. How can I keep you? Yifeng smiled, turned and left. In the last days, only the cruel and ruthless people can make it to the end. In Yifeng's view, any hidden danger must be eliminated. Even beauties are no exception. Yifeng turned around and left without any regret. After leaving the police station, Yifeng went straight to the target point without stopping all the way. More than an hour later, he arrived at Fortune Plaza. Fortune Plaza is a comprehensive shopping center integrating leisure and entertainment and large-scale supermarkets. There is a very large supermarket underground here. When the zombies broke out, it was at the peak of human traffic, so the number of zombies in the supermarket was naturally extremely alarming. Lots of zombies are roaming around. However, Yifeng didn't care and walked into the mall swaggeringly. Borrow the light. Borrow the light. Everyone give way. As for you, put your legs back. Yifeng took advantage of every opportunity and kept walking through the zombies. Not long after, he arrived at the door of the supermarket. Look around. A dazzling array of goods in the supermarket came into Yifeng's field of vision. All kinds of supplies are available. Yifeng couldn't help but his eyes lit up. It's great here. It's much better than those convenience stores and small supermarkets before. Yifeng first came to the food section of the supermarket. The materials here are very rich, with all kinds of food, including rice, mung beans, flour, corn. With a thought, Yifeng put all these into the space, which contained more than 100,000 kilograms of grain. In addition to grain, there is also a lot of surplus meat in supermarkets, such as pork, beef, mutton, fish, shrimp, crab. It's a pity that the meat stored in the fresh-keeping cabinet has basically deteriorated, and only the meat stored in the freezer is still intact. A thought came to my mind. Yifeng disappeared the meat in the freezer in an instant. Next to the staple food and meat is the vegetable and fruit area. There are a large number of vegetables and fruits on display. There are cabbage, carrots, Fuji apples, tangerines, imported bananas. Unfortunately, most of the fruits and vegetables have gone bad. However, some fruits and vegetables are still edible, but some are not fresh. Yifeng will naturally not let it go. As long as it is still edible, he will put it all into the space. I'll take it. Yifeng ran around and collected supplies. The large number of zombies around are a bit strange, with confused expressions. Why, what was there just now, suddenly disappeared? Ho ho ho. The zombies roared in confusion. Yifeng didn't bother them and continued to sweep them away. After harvesting the fruits and vegetables, all kinds of dairy products are also included. Original yogurt, fruit-flavored yogurt, whole milk, soy milk, almond milk. Not long after, Yifeng loaded all the supplies from the supermarket food section into the space. After collecting the entire food section of the supermarket, Yifeng felt very happy. Wandering in the supermarket, mixed with zombies, Yifeng was filled with emotions. In my previous life, I had never been so comfortable searching for supplies. Yifeng looked at the huge supermarket, his hands itching. Why don't we remove everything else besides food? Anyway, here he comes. Everything else will come in handy in the future. Yifeng immediately took action. Shampoo, shower gel, toothpaste, toothbrush, toilet paper, paper towels, wet wipes. Wherever Yifeng looked, he was not picky and took it all into the space. So cool. These items are enough to last you 10 lifetimes. Yifeng felt happy and his face was red. Nothing else, I just want to pretend and take it. Put it away and it will be comfortable. Yifeng transformed into a garrison rat and searched all the way. Come to the clothing section of the supermarket. Clothing, shoes, pants, skirts, black silk, uniforms, bedding. I'll take it. Yifeng pushed forward steadily, sweeping away bit by bit. No valuable place in the supermarket was spared. Electronic products area. Mobile phones, computers, tablets, TVs, stereos. Collect, collect, collect. Anyway, the space is big enough, so you can install it. Yifeng also put these products into his portable space. Home furnishings section. There are various large beds, sofas, dining tables, refrigerators, washing machines, air conditioners. Evacuate. Medical supplies area. There are cold medicines, analgesics, anti-inflammatories, thermometers, blood pressure monitors, various health and nutritional products. Move out. The areas for spices, hardware supplies, tobacco, alcohol, and adult supplies are evacuated. Evacuate everything. Time passes unconsciously. Yifeng was as busy as a little hamster, and gradually emptied the entire supermarket. In the empty supermarket, a lot of zombies looked at the different environment, confused and at a loss. Yifeng felt comfortable, took a sofa from the space, and made himself a cup of coffee. Excessive mental energy consumption, just take a break. Outside the window, the sky was gloomy and filled with blood mist. The room was empty and the zombies were dazed. Among a lot of zombies, Yifeng sat leisurely on a sofa, drinking fragrant coffee comfortably and thinking about his next plan. Big supermarkets have a lot of stuff. It's countless times better than a small supermarket. Where to go next? Where are the supplies abundant? Other big supermarkets, or slaughterhouses, or a hospital or a logistics center. There are so many places worth visiting. Yifeng was in trouble. Forget it, let's go fishing first. Yifeng thought, and the number of baits appeared in front of his eyes. Bait 8 servings. You can still fish 8 times. Thinking of this, Yifeng thought silently in his heart. System, I want to go fishing. The hook moves and enters the boundless darkness. Yifeng chooses fishing. In the fishing space, the fishing rod moved and the fishhook was thrown into the boundless darkness. The system prompts. Tip. Fishing in progress. Don't let me stay in the hardware supply pool anymore. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting +1 banana Bluetooth headset. Yifeng felt happy. Alas, Bluetooth headset. Change the pool. Finally, it's not a hardware supply pool anymore. It seems that the plan to postpone fishing and change fishing ponds is working. Big success. Yifeng was pleasantly surprised. It seems that this can be done in the future. The system prompts to continue. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting +1 stack of detonating symbols. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting a 100-year member of 511 network disk +1. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing, for obtaining +1 hearing enhancement scroll. Detonating talisman. Strengthening scroll. Nice. Yifeng's eyes became brighter and brighter. NetDisk membership is of no use. Glancing at the detonating talisman, Yifeng realized that it was from the Hokage. Use energy to activate it, which is much more powerful than grenades. As for the strengthening scroll, it is the one from the old series. Tip. Fishing in progress. Yifeng continues to look forward to. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting +1 bottle of Audi shampoo. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting a Rolls-Royce Black Umbrella +1. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and obtaining the rare skill, spiritual detection. Woohoo! Yi Feng's eyes suddenly lit up. Another skill. Soon, the fishing is over. It was a great harvest this time. Yi Feng began to inspect the harvest. A skill source bead floats quietly in the fishing space. Yi Feng clicks to view the skill details. Skill, mental detection. Quality, rare. Description, after learning skills, you can better use your mental power to perceive the surrounding environment and situations. Special description, please note that excessive use of this skill will consume too much mental energy. Psychic skills. It actually still has detection skills. Yi Feng felt excited. He immediately chose to extract this skill. The skill source beads floated in the air. Yi Feng stretched out his hand and inhaled it into his body. The system prompts and then sounds. Tip. Congratulations on learning the rare skill, spiritual detection. The next moment, Yi Feng's body trembled slightly. He learned this mental detection skill instantly. A thought came to my mind. A spider web that seemed to be composed of spiritual power, with him as the center, continued to extend in all directions. Everything around you is in full bloom. Good skills. But, it seems like it requires some mental energy. Yi Feng thought silently. The range limit is 20 meters. The disadvantage is that it requires initiative, and whether it is activated or maintained, it consumes a lot of mental energy. But with my now strengthened mental power, it won't be a big problem to maintain it for about 5 minutes. Yi Feng took back the detection and was satisfied. By the way, I also got a new scroll. Yi Feng thought and took out the scroll. Item, hearing enhancement scroll. Quality, rare. Description, after using the scroll, your hearing will be improved to a certain extent. It is the same series as the strength strengthening scroll and the vision strengthening scroll. This time it's a hearing enhancement scroll. Yi Feng smiled slightly. It's also great for enhancing hearing. Yi Feng thought and took out the scroll. Whoosh! A palm-sized scroll appeared in his hand. Yi Feng's heart moved and he immediately tore open the scroll. The next moment, the scroll turned into a stream of blue light, pouring into Yi Feng's ears. Yi Feng only felt a comfortable coolness, which was continuously transmitted to his ears. Not long after, Yi Feng's strengthening was completed. Every sound around Yi Feng was clearly audible. Your own breathing, heartbeat. There are also the sounds of zombies walking, wandering, and roaring outside the window. Every sound is clearly distinguishable. The voices of some survivors faintly reached Yi Feng's ears. Yi Feng can also turn off this state and block out some sounds he doesn't want to hear. Yi Feng was overjoyed. Hearing enhancement is so cool. This fishing was very fruitful. Not only did he gain the power of mental detection, but he also gained a hearing enhancement scroll. There are also detonating charms. Yi Feng took another look at the detonating talisman. Item, detonating talisman. Quality, rare. Description, the detonating talisman from the world of Naruto. After activation, you will be able to release a powerful fire explosion with extraordinary power. There are 20 detonating charms in a stack. Yi Feng moved it to the storage space. Can be used as a grenade. Yi Feng felt happy and took another sip of coffee. Where to go next? Correct. In large supermarkets, there must be warehouses. Generally, items in supermarkets are put out for sale. In the warehouse at the back end. According to Yi Feng's past life memories, there must be a large amount of supplies in the warehouse. The voices of survivors I just heard. Yi Feng thought for a while. Zombies are rampant in the supermarket. If there are survivors, hiding in the warehouse is indeed a good choice. Yi Feng took the coffee and other items back into his space and directly activated his new power, spiritual detection. A stream of spiritual power is like a dense thread, constantly extending in all directions. 1 meter, 3 meters, 5 meters. Within a radius of 20 meters around Yi Feng, all the leaves appeared. Next, Yi Feng turned on his mental probe and started walking in the direction where he heard the survivor's voice before. Here. At this moment, Yi Feng's eyes lit up. Found it. Yi Feng turned a corner and ran towards the warehouse area he found. Not long after, Yi Feng came to the door of the warehouse area. The door here is locked, and there is a lot of debris accumulated inside the door blocking the door. There are indeed survivors. Yi Feng pricked up his ears and listened carefully. Deep in the warehouse, there were voices. Sister May, how are my techniques? Not bad, keep up the good work. Quote. Yi Feng's hearing has been enhanced, and ordinary people must not be able to hear it. With a thought, Yi Feng released his mental power to investigate. Then, he looked strange. Inside the warehouse, there is an open space. A woman with a charming face and a royal sister-like appearance sat on a chair and rested with her eyes closed. The woman is wearing a black tights and has an extremely hot figure, with curvy figures and a slender waist. There is a girl with short hair behind her, rubbing the woman's back. There are still some people active. These people are in good spirits. This scene was really beyond Yi Feng's expectation. He thought about the various situations that might exist in this gathering place of survivors. It may be a harmonious atmosphere, it may be a clear hierarchy, or it may be a male with supernatural powers who dominates. But Yi Feng alone did not consider it. There is actually a woman who occupies the dominant position here, and her life is quite nourishing. Blood mist fills the air, and the apocalypse is coming. Although men have an advantage over women in terms of physical strength, the emergence of extraordinary power changes everything. If a woman awakens a good power, she may not be worse than a man. Coupled with the unique material conditions here in the warehouse, it makes sense that life is so nourishing. Yi Feng did not take action immediately, but watched everything in front of him with great interest. The woman in front of her has a charming appearance. She wears a black tights and long boots that perfectly highlight her body curves. The big one is big, the small one is small. Yi Feng secretly praised. Strong enough. Continue to expand your mental power. Then Yi Feng made a new discovery. The material warehouse is indeed here. Yi Feng thought for a moment, and realized that there was a rich reserve of materials in this warehouse, and it was impossible for him to let it go. Withdrawing his mental power, Yi Feng slashed at the door lock with his knife. After a few clicks, Yi Feng easily cut the door lock. Yi Feng pushed hard. The debris at the door naturally couldn't stop him. The door was slowly pushed open by Yi Feng. Yi Feng stepped into the warehouse and walked directly towards the supplies. There are two large warehouses here, one is mainly for frozen food, and the other is a general cargo warehouse. Yi Feng's banging on the door alarmed everyone in the warehouse. The survivors in the warehouse took homemade weapons and ran out in a hurry. The two sides met in the corridor. The person who led the survivors was the charming woman Yi Feng had observed before. Charming and enchanting, with a killer figure. The woman frowned and looked at Yi Feng with a confused look on her face. She didn't know what she was thinking, but she didn't speak immediately. Who are you? What are you doing here? A petite girl with short hair was the first to ask. Yi Feng glanced at the short-haired girl. It's the one who beats the woman's back. He is not big, but his capital is not small. Yi Feng couldn't help but take another look. Yes, her face is also very pretty. What are you looking at? The short-haired girl said in a fierce voice, but with a baby voice, which was really scary. Yi Feng chuckled and said calmly, "It doesn't matter who I am. The important thing is, I want all the supplies here." The arrogant words made everyone a little silent. Some people haven't figured out what Yi Feng means. Some people who wanted to understand were even more surprised by Yi Feng's arrogance. At this moment, a handsome man named Zhao Dongming in the crowd secretly said, "My chance to show off has arrived." Zhao Dongming took a step forward and sneered. "Haha, you said you want them all. It's so arrogant. I'll scare you to death if I tell you. Our sister Mei is a powerful superpower." At this time, other people also reacted and said one after another. "You want them all. What's funny? How can we survive if you take away the supplies? Who do you think you are?" Everyone was talking non-stop. Yi Feng looked slightly cold and thought to himself, "These people are so annoying. It seems like we need to teach them a lesson before we take action." Just when Yi Feng wanted to take action and show off his methods, the charming woman in the lead suddenly scolded him. "Okay, shut up." As soon as these words came out, everyone suddenly became quiet. Then the woman stretched out her hand to Yi Feng and smiled. "Let me meet you, my name is Zhao Wumei. I used to be the manager of this supermarket, and now I am the leader of these people." At the same time, he is also a superpower. Yi Feng did not speak, nor did he step forward to shake hands with Zhao Charming. He just kept looking up and down at Zhao Wumei. Why does the name Zhao Wumei sound so familiar? Zhao Wumei slowly put down her hand, not embarrassed, but continued to say with a bright smile. Handsome guy, I see you are so handsome, you must be a reasonable person too. There are more than 20 of us here, and they are all pointing to this warehouse to survive. If you take away all the supplies here, it will be no different than killing us. You must be very skilled to be here. There are so many supplies outside, why bother grabbing them from the likes of us? Yi Feng smiled slightly and slowly said, you are quite discerning. I'm indeed handsome, but it's a pity that I'm unreasonable. As soon as these words came out, everyone was secretly angry. Yi Feng didn't care and continued. What does your life and death have to do with me? You are a woman who can't say a few words, so why don't you let me go all the way in vain? Zhao Wumei's eyes flickered and she continued to explain. Don't worry, handsome guy, I won't let your trip go in vain. However, I'm curious about one thing. You said you want all the supplies here, but how do you take them away? After all, there are so many zombies outside the supermarket that trucks can't even get in. You can't even try to take away our little territory, right? Zhao Wumei smiled softly, showing a hint of curiosity. Yi Feng put his hands behind his back and said calmly. I have no comment on this. I just want to say one thing, I want to take the supplies, this is non-negotiable. Before Zhao Wumei could say anything, the other survivors couldn't help scolding her. Boy, you are so arrogant. Sister May, what nonsense are you talking to him about? There are so many of us, beat him up and throw him out. Quote. The scene was noisy. Shut up, everyone. Whoever says one more thing will be punished severely. This time, Zhao Charming looked evil and shouted everyone back again. She glanced at Yi Feng again, covered her mouth and chuckled. If you want to get supplies, of course you can. Then, Zhao Wumei looked at Yi Feng again, and then spoke softly with her red lips, making a surprising statement. Let's do this, handsome boy, accompany me, my sister, for once. How about you take as much as you want from here within 1 hour? Aha, Yi Feng's mouth twitched. This time, he really couldn't hold himself any longer. What did he hear? Did you hear that right? Yi Feng blinked and looked at the woman in front of him repeatedly. She has a pretty face, flaming red lips, and a tall and hot figure. The most important thing is that the woman's whole body exudes an alluring aura of a young woman, like a ripe peach, which is breathtaking. It's the best. Yi Feng looked directly into Zhao Wumei's beautiful eyes and said nothing for a while. Zhao Wumei looked at each other boldly. Everyone around the audience stared blankly, as if they were petrified. Yi Feng asked with great interest, Zhao Charming, right? Is it the one I understand? It's a bit outrageous, Yi Feng needs to confirm. Yes, it's just what you think. Zhao Wumei smiled with a charming face. When everyone present heard this, their pupils trembled and their hearts were extremely shocked. Oh my God, it's not this far, Sister May. That's right, Sister May, how could you do this, kid? I don't understand. Zhao Dongming was even more filled with anger at this moment and shouted loudly. I don't agree. This pretty face, this man can't do it at first sight. Yi Feng also watched the scene in front of him with great interest. The fact that things had progressed to this point was completely beyond his expectation. What kind of strange development is this? Yi Feng's expression remained unchanged and he looked at Zhao Charming. Zhao Wumei's pretty face sank and she scolded her coldly. Shut up, everyone. Are you the boss, or am I the boss? Hearing this, although everyone was anxious, they also shut up. The scene suddenly became quiet. But, Sister May, only Zhao Dongming was a little unwilling, his eyes full of impatience. Zhao Wumei waved her hands and said firmly, okay, you don't need to say more or persuade me, I've made up my mind. Then she turned around, looked at Yi Feng charmingly, her tone was full of teasing, and said, little handsome boy, I have already done this, what do you think? Yi Feng's mouth twitched. In this situation, a man cannot back down. And the woman in front of him has no ill intentions toward him. Looking at Zhao Wumei's pretty face and the majestic mountains, Yi Feng's lips curled up into a smile. Haha, just don't regret it. Giving away the entire warehouse's supplies for free. How could such a good thing exist in this world? Zhao Charming narrowed her eyes, like a successful little fox. Everyone present had different expressions. Zhao Dongming was even more heartbroken and his eyes were dull. In that case, let's do it now without further ado. Little handsome boy, please come inside. Afterwards, Zhao Wumei led the way. Pretty back, outstanding grace, charming. Yi Feng watched the woman leave, with thoughts in his eyes. Suddenly, Yi Feng had a flash of inspiration and his eyes showed excitement. He remembered Zhao Wumei's identity. In the previous life, there was a man who called himself the god of fire and was one of the most powerful people in Zhongcheng. And Zhao Wumei is the Vulcan's right-hand man. According to rumors, Zhao Wumei is voluptuous, ruthless, and can kill without blinking an eye. Seems to have epic flames. Thinking of this, Yi Feng stepped up to follow him and walked into the room. A large number of survivors were left standing there, at a loss. The petite girl with short hair even frowned. What do you think, Sister May? I don't understand. Besides being handsome, there's nothing good about this man. Zhao Dongming was even more jealous of Yi Feng and said loudly. What the hell, if I had known that Sister May had such a need, she would have chosen me. Compared with this kid, what's the difference? The short-haired girl glanced at Zhao Dongming and said calmly. It seems that the difference is quite far. At least the level of pretense is far inferior. Zhao Dongming was speechless. The short-haired girl looked complicated and murmured. If Sister May is willing. If you think about it carefully, the two of them are a perfect match. It's not our turn to object. Quote. Half an hour later. Yi Feng, you really gave me a surprise. Zhao Wumei felt the aura of supernatural power in her body, her face was filled with joy, and the corners of her mouth were raised. She leaned against the bed with difficulty. Yi Feng was equally satisfied, glanced at the woman casually, and then suddenly his eyes widened. Because Yi Feng discovered that Zhao Charming's eyes were full of excitement. Yi Feng's eyes suddenly flashed with suspicion. Not quite right. With this expression on her face, why does she feel like she has suffered a loss? After a brief sense, the malicious sense was not triggered. Yi Feng continued to check and found nothing wrong with his body. It can even be said that my condition is better than ever. Feel refreshed and relaxed. Yi Feng was a little confused. At this moment, the system prompt sounded. Tip. Trigger event. Tip. Bonus bait plus 20 copies. Yi Feng was stunned at first, then overjoyed. Great system, here comes the warmth again. Yi Feng looked excited. Easily obtained 20 pieces of fishing bait. Nice needle. Not to mention, he is also about to harvest a warehouse of supplies. It's so profitable. The corners of Yi Feng's mouth could not help but rise slightly. Looking back, seeing Zhao Wumei's face glowing red and her eyes showing excitement. Looks 10 times happier than him. Yi Feng's smile froze. Doubts arose in my heart again. Something's wrong. What exactly is going on? Is this woman happier than me? There must be something wrong. Yi Feng couldn't understand, so he simply asked. You are a little abnormally happy, tell me why. Zhao Wumei pursed her lips and smiled and said softly, you are so strong. Yi Feng felt that what she was talking about at this moment was not his fighting power in bed. Don't show off. Yi Feng looked unhappy. Yi Feng seemed a little angry. Don't be angry, I'll tell you. Zhao Charming said with a sweet smile. Yi Feng said nothing, waiting for her explanation. Unexpectedly, Zhao Wumei asked. Yi Feng, what kind of power do you have? Yi Feng was a little impatient. What kind of riddler is that? Does this have something to do with the question I asked? Yi Feng said lightly. It does matter. Zhao Wumei nodded. If you don't tell me, I won't tell you. Yi Feng narrowed his eyes slightly. The next moment, Yi Feng reached out and strangled Zhao Charming's snow-white neck like lightning. You think I wouldn't kill a woman? Yi Feng's eyes were cold, and a murderous aura suddenly rose. Zhao Wumei couldn't breathe at all, and her eyes were full of fear. She had a feeling that the man in front of her would really kill her. Completely cold, like falling into an ice cellar. Yi Feng slowly increased his intensity. Zhao Wumei struggled desperately, but Yi Feng's hands were like iron pliers, motionless. Ji Yu, spare my life. After a while, Zhao Wumei was completely speechless and her face turned completely red. Yi Feng let go of his hand and threw her on the bed. Slowly say one word. Explain. Yi Feng didn't want to kill her. It's just that Zhao Wumei is too presumptuous, so I need to teach her a lesson. Zhao Wumei was breathing heavily, her chest rising and falling. It took a while. Zhao Wumei slowly stood up and sat up, a hint of excitement flashed deep in her eyes. You are so strong, Yi Feng. Yi Feng observed silently. He couldn't help but be surprised when he found out that Zhao Wumei didn't have any ill intentions towards him. Zhao Wumei patted her chest. I just thought I was going to die. Yi Feng's face was expressionless. Don't talk nonsense. I felt a little unbearable inside. Is this woman really not afraid of death? The lesson she just taught did not affect her at all. Zhao Charming looked at Yi Feng resentfully. Okay, I say. My powers are special, very special. I'm telling you the truth, don't get angry or pinch me. Yi Feng nodded. I'm not angry. Zhao Wumei smiled brightly and movingly. The power I awakened is called attachment, and it has no grade. It turns out that Zhao Wumei is different from other people with powers. The power she awakened turned out to be a very special grade less power, attachment. At the beginning of the awakening of the attachment power, it brought Zhao Wumei the characteristics of natural charm and overall physical enhancement. This greatly increased Zhao Wumei's strength. However, this is not the true use of attachment powers. When the dependent power was awakened, it brought Zhao Wumei a limited skill that could only be used once in a lifetime. Skill, breeding. When Zhao Wumei, for the first time, she will automatically absorb the opponent's supernatural aura. After ingesting the breath of the superpower, the attached superpower will automatically breed and transform into the superpower possessed by the communication partner. However, the level of the superpower will be lowered by one level. If the communication object is legendary, epic powers will be born. If the object of communication is mythical, legendary powers will be born. And so on. Zhao Wumei said excitedly. The moment I met you, I could tell at a glance that you were a powerful superpower. But I really didn't expect that you could bring me so many surprises. What is your abnormality? What is your level? In fact, the moment Zhao Wumei saw Yi Feng, her superpower kept sending out reminders. If she and Yi Feng, it would be of great benefit. Zhao Wumei was married and a wife. But my husband has become a zombie. But after Zhao Wumei awakened to rely on the superpower, she automatically reshaped her body and restored her perfect body. Because of this, the man Zhao Wumei chooses for the first time will be extremely important. It will have a significant impact on the improvement of her strength. She originally wanted to save it until later to see which powerful person of the opposite gender could catch her eye. Unexpectedly, I was lucky enough to meet Yi Feng in the blink of an eye, powerful and handsome. Zhao Wumei made a decisive decision and made a huge gamble. As a result, she won the bet and got huge benefits as she wished. Her superpower reminds her that her superpower is transforming into a legendary superpower. Simply outrageous. Take it down a notch, and it's still a legendary power. Since the internet is still around and there are a lot of people with superpowers, some information related to superpowers can also be found on the internet. Therefore, the division of abilities into 4 levels, common, rare, epic, and legendary has emerged. Known power levels, lowest common, highest legendary. Therefore, Zhao Wumei never expected that her superpower, which was downgraded by 1 level, would still be legendary level. In other words, Yi Feng's superpower level is above the legendary. What is the superpower above the legend? Nobody knows. After listening to Zhao Wumei's introduction, Yi Feng felt a little mixed. He couldn't help but smack his lips. There is such a magical existence of supernatural powers. The world is so vast and full of wonders. The world is becoming more and more fantasy. In my previous life, I was too weak to hear this. This woman really got a big deal. She is completely her optimal solution. Chaos God Thunder is a mythical power. Regardless of potential or strength, he is the strongest existence in the world. Yi Feng estimated that Zhao Wumei would awaken legendary lightning-related abilities. From this point of view, Zhao Wumei really suffered a loss when she communicated with him. Mud, I thought I had earned it. As a result, she made a fortune. Yi Feng was a little unhappy, with a dark look on his face. You didn't take anything from me, did you? His eyes were a little suspicious. No, I didn't. The benefits I get will not cause any trouble to my other half. Zhao Wumei explained hurriedly. I'm afraid Yi Feng will teach her a lesson again. She knew very well how huge the benefits she had gained were. So the man in front of me is by no means an ordinary person. Yi Feng's mouth twitched. Fine. Zhao Wumei's behavior did not trigger any malicious feelings in her. However, in fact, malicious perception is not without its shortcomings. If a person's behavior can hurt you, but she doesn't know it, she doesn't have any malice towards you. Then, her behavior will naturally not trigger malicious perception. Take the incident of Zhao Wumei as an example. If Zhao Wumei's behavior was harmful to Yi Feng, but she didn't know it, Yi Feng's malicious perception skill would not be triggered. When people are wandering around the world, they still have to be careful. Yi Feng checked it carefully again. The condition is normal and there are no problems. He breathed a sigh of relief. So, do you know what my superpower is? Yi Feng's heart moved and he asked. I don't know yet, I only know that my powers are legendary. Zhao Wumei slowly shook her head. Your powers are too powerful. I estimate it will take another hour for the transformation to be completed. Only then will I know what kind of power I have. Just tell me what your superpower is. Yi Feng shook his head. Reserve a sense of expectation, you will know after a while. Yi Feng looked at Zhao Charming's fiery figure with admiration. Although Zhao Wumei's buttocks were larger than those of ordinary people, they were still slightly smaller than Lin Xiaoxiao's. However, everyone has their own merits. Zhao Wumei's charming style is currently unmatched by Lin Xiaoxiao. Of course, Lin Xiaoxiao still has room for development. Zhao Wumei smiled and turned over, showing off her beautiful figure. You seem a little unhappy. Zhao Wumei's charming eyes are as silky as silk. Yi Feng said fiercely, you have gained great benefits, which is too much. Zhao Wumei's pretty face is red, and her beautiful eyes are already misty. Half an hour later, Zhao Wumei's beautiful eyes narrowed slightly, feeling weak. I really didn't mean to lie to you. Yi Feng smiled proudly and was in a good mood. Zhao Wumei suddenly stepped forward, put her hands around Yi Feng's waist, and hugged him gently. Friend, why don't you stay with me? I will only follow you from now on. Okay. Yi Feng was stunned for a moment, then firmly pushed her away. Are you kidding me? Give up the entire forest for a flower. Yi Feng laughed dryly and refused decisively. What, you want to have love for free? Don't want to give supplies. We agreed that our relationship would only last one night. Zhao Charming bit her red lips, obviously a little disappointed. You are really a hard-hearted man. Seeing Zhao Wumei's posture, Yi Feng touched his chin and said tentatively. However, if you choose to go with me, I can consider it. Chapter 31. No doubt, Zhao Wumei is a top beauty. Going with you. Zhao Wumei's beautiful eyes lit up and she asked. Do you have other women? Yi Feng nodded, indicating his acquiescence. Zhao Wumei was a little disappointed. After thinking for a while, she rolled her eyes at Yi Feng. Never mind, I see that you are such a playboy. I don't want to be with you and be a coward with other women. Hearing this, Yi Feng was slightly disappointed. However, with Zhao Wumei's special abilities, he will indeed be able to dominate the world in the future. No need to rely on yourself. I will make you surrender sooner or later. Please come back to see me when you have time, I need a man. Zhao Wumei covered her mouth and chuckled, which was meaningful. Yi Feng was speechless. If you cuckold me, I will kill you. Yi Feng's expression was calm, but his tone was unquestionable. Zhao Wumei's heart trembled, and she reacted with a grieved face. Yi Feng, who do you think I am? I have always been as clean and self-sufficient as jade. How could you be so contemptuous of me? Yi Feng smiled and said, okay, I believe you. Zhao Wumei was still a little aggrieved. Yi Feng ignored her and said calmly, I'm going to collect supplies. After saying that, Yi Feng started to get dressed quickly. Zhao Wumei took the opportunity to come over and kept touching Yi Feng. Enemy, are you angry? We are already like this, why are you so ruthless in taking away other people's things? Aren't my things yours? Yi Feng smiled. One thing comes down to the other. Besides, there are only about 20 of you here, so you can't finish eating so much food. Yi Feng put on his clothes, pushed Zhao Wumei away who was clinging to him, and walked firmly towards the warehouse. Enemies, wait for me. Zhao Wumei was in a hurry to put on her clothes. Yi Feng left the room and walked to the cold storage. At this moment, the power system is still on. Yi Feng released his spirit to explore. The mental power stretched like a thread, and a large amount of materials came into Yi Feng's field of vision. Large supermarkets are equipped with corresponding large refrigerated warehouses. Refrigerated warehouses typically store foods that require low-temperature preservation. This refrigerated warehouse is no exception. Yi Feng glanced at it. There are a large number of frozen glutinous rice balls, wontons, dumplings, wontons, pasta, frozen vegetables, and a large number of frozen pork, chicken, beef, mutton, aquatic products, etc. The reserves are astonishing, more than what is on the shelves outside. Moreover, the refrigerated area outside the warehouse also stocks a large number of vegetables and fruits, which are all fresh. Yi Feng moved quickly, and wherever he went, the frozen meat quickly disappeared. Swish, swish, swish. A large amount of supplies disappeared out of thin air and appeared in Yi Feng's storage space. Yi Feng kept collecting supplies. Zhao Wumei hurried over. Along with this, there are other survivors here. As soon as they entered the door, what came into their sight was the scene of a large amount of materials disappearing out of thin air. Everyone seemed to have seen a ghost, and they were all shocked and dumbfounded. OMG. Ah, what's going on? Disappeared. Beef and mutton are all missing. Everyone froze in place, at a loss. Zhao Wumei suddenly realized and couldn't help but exclaimed. Yi Feng, are you actually a space superpower? Yi Feng's expression was calm and he continued to collect. Everyone was also stunned. Oh my god, wow, there are still such superpowers in the world. Someone quickly reacted. Sister May, if this continues, he will evacuate this place. If the supplies are gone, how will we survive? Quote. Everyone looked anxious. Zhao Wumei was pleasantly surprised. You all, get out first. Zhao Wumei issued the order. After hearing this, everyone exited the cold storage with unwilling expressions. After his subordinates quit, Zhao Wumei stepped forward with excitement on her face. Yi Feng, will I also awaken my space powers? Yi Feng said lightly. You are not a space superpower. Yi Feng kept moving his hands and continued to collect. Ah, Zhao Wumei was dumbfounded. No, what is that? Yi Feng ignored her. You'll know when the time comes. Zhao Wumei looked unwilling. But there is nothing we can do. Seeing Yi Feng keep collecting supplies, he felt a little distressed. She bit her lower lip lightly with her teeth and begged. Brother Yi Feng, you are about to collect your magical powers. I admit, I underestimate you. Can you leave a way for others to survive? Yi Feng glanced at Zhao Charming. Zhao Wumei's eyes were watery and she looked at him pitifully. Due to the rush to come out, Zhao Wumei's hair was scattered, her clothes were a little messy, and her delicate body exposed a large area of snow-white skin. Poor and aggrieved, Yi Feng was unmoved and said calmly. As agreed, I can take as much as I can. While talking, Yi Feng put boxes of frozen seafood into the space. Seeing that her supplies were getting less and less, Zhao Wumei became more and more anxious and stepped forward to hug Yi Feng's arm. It's the slave's fault. Please let me go, brother. Please. Zhao Wumei kept begging. Yi Feng kept moving and continued to collect. Seeing that the man was unmoved, Zhao Wumei cried anxiously. A line of clear tears flowed down from her eyes. Why are you like this? Boo. Yi Feng was speechless. Why? Drop the little pearl. Although I know she is acting. Yi Feng is still a little soft-hearted. Don't worry, I'm not a cold person either. How about I leave you 30% of the supplies in the cold storage warehouse and the food warehouse next to it? Yi Feng made suggestions. Ah, do you know about the warehouse next door? Zhao Wumei was stunned for a moment, then hurriedly said. 30% is too little, can 50% be okay? 20%. Oh no, 30%, just 30%. Zhao Wumei hurriedly laughed with her. 30% is enough for you. Even 30% of these stored supplies are enough to feed more than 20 people for many years. Originally, according to Yi Feng's plan, it was normal to empty this place. As for the life and death of the survivors, what does it have to do with him? However, we can't do that now. After all, he and Zhao Wumei had become friends with Guan Bao. In fact, the main reason was that he was a little unhappy after being tricked by Zhao Charming. Otherwise, there are many places with supplies in Zhongcheng, so Yi Feng can just search somewhere else. Well, thank you, brother Feng. Zhao Wumei breathed a sigh of relief and patted her chest, causing a slight tremor. Yi Feng continued to activate his abilities and collect supplies. Apples, bananas, strawberries, watermelons, cherries, these fruits are still relatively fresh when refrigerated at low temperatures. Zhao Wumei was beside her, her eyes darting around, and she didn't know what she was thinking. Yi Feng asked casually, I feel that even if you are not attached to my powers, your powers are still quite strong. As long as you be careful, those zombies outside should be nothing to you, right? Zhao Wumei pursed her lips and smiled softly. That's natural. After my powers were awakened, not only was my natural charm, but my strength and speed were greatly enhanced. As long as I'm not surrounded by a large number of zombies, ordinary zombies are nothing to me. But there is a mutant zombie among the zombies that is more powerful than ordinary zombies. He's right here, I can't beat him. Yi Feng was surprised when he heard this and frowned. Mutated zombies. Are there mutated zombies here? Zisuo. Yi Feng really didn't encounter any mutated zombies along the way. Zhao Wumei continued. There is a mutant zombie in this supermarket. It is a powerful mutant zombie, but it sleeps most of the time and only comes out for a walk at night. With it around, I don't dare to go out easily. Yi Feng nodded and continued. Wumei, after you awaken your powers, you can deal with him. Really? Zhao Wumei looked excited. He kept wondering in his mind, what exactly is Yi Feng's superpower and how strong is it? Another moment passed. Yi Feng left 30% of the supplies and stopped immediately. Turn around and leave, go straight to another warehouse, and continue to collect supplies. The goods stored in this warehouse are similar to those on the shelves outside, but they are all packed in boxes, and most of them are fast-moving consumer goods. Instant noodles, iced tea, coffee, pure milk, yogurt, rice, cooking oil, orange fruit, cola, boxes piled up like mountains. Yi Feng is all in the storage space. Zhao Wumei accompanied her all the way, her heart was bleeding and she could only force a smile. After a while, Zhao Wumei couldn't stand it anymore. Yi Feng, I believe you, you must leave me 30%. After saying these words, Zhao Charming left in a hurry. In the warehouse hall, everyone was restless. Some people were puzzled. Where did this person come from? It feels like there is nothing special about him except that he has space. Why is Sister Mei so afraid of him? I wonder how Sister Mei talked with him. Zhao Dongming looked unwilling and gritted his teeth and said, I don't understand why Sister Mei doesn't dare to fight with him even though she is so strong. Perhaps, he is just an embroidered pillow, which is not useful but looks good. The short-haired girl immediately retorted. Haha, I think Sister Mei has her own reasons for doing things. Her name is Su Xiaoxiao, and she is Zhao Wumei's assistant. Ever since I learned that Yi Feng was a space superpower, my impression of Yi Feng had changed greatly. Su Xiaoxiao continued. This man named Yi Feng must be something special. After all, he is a space superpower. Quote. While everyone was discussing, Zhao Wumei appeared. Everyone's eyes lit up and they rushed to greet him. Sister Mei, how's it going? What did that space superpower say? Zhao Wumei said calmly. 30% supplies. Ah, he wanted to take away 30% of the supplies, why didn't he grab it? The handsome man was suddenly filled with indignation. 30% is ours. Zhao Wumei continued. Ah, this. Everyone was speechless. With so much supplies taken away, can he finish it? Yeah, too greedy. Zhao Dongming even suggested angrily. Sister Mei, he is alone, how about you lead us to fight with him? Zhao Wumei glanced at Zhao Dongming and said with an indifferent expression. If you want to die, go do it yourself. But, before you take action, I will kill you first. Save you from causing trouble for me. Zhao Wumei slandered. You deserve to bewitch me and kill my man. You deserve to die. These words scared Zhao Dongming's scalp to numbness and his body to tremble. Zhao Wumei has never been so indifferent. Oh no. Young ones don't dare. Zhao Dongming didn't expect Zhao Wumei's attitude, so he immediately nodded and bowed in fear. Zhao's charming eyes scanned the crowd and continued. This result is already very good. Even if it's 30% of the supplies, we can't use them all. Zhao Wumei paused and continued to issue orders. You all, please remember that Yi Feng is extremely powerful and is someone we must not offend. Do you understand? Yes, clear, everyone responded one after another. At this moment, an earth-shattering roar suddenly came from outside. Ho ho oh! When everyone heard the roar, their expressions changed. It's a mutated zombie. How could this happen? Why did he run out during the day? It seems very angry. It's over. This is terrible. Zhao Wumei also looked ugly. It will take some time for Yifeng's superpower to be awakened. Right now, she has no confidence to fight mutant zombies. Do you think it has something to do with that space superpower? That's right. Maybe it really has something to do with him. Everyone was whispering to each other and discussing. Zhao Wumei frowned slightly. Is it related to Yifeng? Never mind. Regardless of whether it was related or not, if the mutated zombies really came and killed him, he would still have to rely on Yifeng. I'll go find Yifeng and talk to him, Zhao Wumei said decisively. No need. A clear male voice came out. Yifeng looked calm and walked out slowly. When everyone saw Yifeng coming, they all became quiet and stopped talking. Zhao Wumei's beautiful eyes lit up. She smiled and said, Yifeng, did you hear everything just now? Yes. Yifeng turned his head and looked in a certain direction. An inexplicable look flashed in his eyes. I not only heard it, I also saw it. Gathering mental power into a bundle can greatly extend the distance of perception. Yifeng has captured the location of the mutated zombies. Zhao Wumei was stunned. Everyone present looked at each other in confusion, not understanding what Yifeng said. Charming, are these the mutated zombies you've been worried about? Yifeng said with a smile. That's right. Zhao Wumei nodded. Yifeng wonders if you can. Don't worry. Yifeng smiled softly and continued. Whether this zombie wakes up during the day or not, whether it has something to do with me or not, I will kill this zombie for you and eliminate the hidden danger. When Zhao Wumei heard this, her beautiful eyes became brighter and brighter. Yifeng, thank you, but this mutated zombie is extremely powerful, you must be more careful. Thank you for your concern. Yifeng smiled. I will solve it within 3 minutes, no, within 1 minute. After hearing this, everyone was stunned. Someone's eyes flashed with brilliance. Some people curled their lips, obviously not believing Yifeng's words. At this moment, the roar of zombies was heard in the distance. Ho ho ho. Immediately afterwards, the ground shook slightly, and everyone was a little panicked. It's going crazy. Will it come? Seeing this, Yifeng looked at Zhao Wumei and said, I have taken away the supplies as agreed. After I kill this zombie, I will never come back. Let's say goodbye. Zhao Wumei was startled. Yifeng, you. Before she could finish her words, Yifeng's figure flashed and disappeared on the spot. Seeing Yifeng leave, everyone was amazed at his speed. Did anyone see how he left? Too fast. Everyone was talking about it. Zhao Dongming rolled his eyes and stood up again. We have to admit that Yifeng is very fast and very strong, but he is too pretentious this time. If he could kill mutated zombies with a snap of his fingers, I would run naked around the warehouse 3 times. Hearing this, the others nodded in approval. I agree, Yifeng's tone is a bit loud. That's right, we all know how powerful mutant zombies are. Can normal people defeat them? And they can be destroyed with a snap of a finger. I wonder if the items in the space will explode after the space superpower dies. Everyone was whispering and discussing. Su Xiaoxiao, a girl with short hair, had a look of worry on her face. She looked at the direction Yifeng was leaving and retorted subconsciously, what are you questioning? Just because you can't do it doesn't mean others can't do it. Zhao Wumei also had a complicated look on her face and slowly said. Yifeng said he can solve it, so it can be done. We just wait patiently. By the way, find the high-power telescope and let's find an angle to see if we can watch the battle. Okay, Sister May. Su Xiaoxiao immediately smiled brightly and puffed up her proud chest. Everyone looked at each other in confusion, not understanding where Zhao Charming's confidence came from. Zhao Wumei squinted her eyes slightly, feeling the transformation power in her body. How powerful are superpowers above the legendary level? If Yifeng can kill this mutated zombie. Zhao Wumei's eyes flashed. It was precisely because of the existence of this mutated zombie that she dared not go out and could only huddle in this warehouse, feeling scared every day. I was afraid that one day mutated zombies would suddenly come over and beat them all to death. If Yifeng can really deal with the mutant zombies, it will be great news. The other side. Yifeng ran quickly, constantly shuttling between a large number of ordinary zombies. Generally speaking, compared with ordinary zombies, mutant zombies have greatly increased in strength, but their wisdom has not increased much. But every mutant is different. Yi Feng's behavior of almost emptying the entire supermarket might have stimulated the mutated zombies. Not long after, Yi Feng followed the sound and came to the vicinity of the mutated zombies. Looking from a distance, this mutated zombie is 2 meters tall, its eyes are flashing with evil red light, its skin is as hard as iron, and its blood-red muscles are flaring out. It looks very disgusting. Yi Feng frowned. This is no ordinary mutant zombie. It has mutated to such an extent at this stage that it may have the potential to grow into a zombie king. Yi Feng smiled. It seemed that he underestimated it. After thinking about it, Yi Feng took out the flame sword from the space and decided to test the strength of this zombie first. At this moment, the mutated zombie suddenly turned around and stared at Yi Feng fiercely. Yi Feng's eyes moved. Can mutated zombies detect themselves? That's right, according to the description of the concealment necklace, concealment only works on ordinary zombies. Ho ho ho. The mutated zombies roared loudly. Yi Feng's heart moved and he said, "Silly big man. Come and show Grandpa what you are capable of." The mutated zombie couldn't understand Yi Feng's words, but it felt the provocation in Yi Feng's language. The eyes showed anger, and the mutated zombie let out a low roar. Ho ho ho. The sound was huge and earth-shattering. The mutated zombies rushed toward Yi Feng. When he came close, he suddenly waved his huge fist and hit Yi Feng on the head. Yi Feng dodged and nimbly avoided the attack of the mutated zombies. At the same time, he wielded the flame sword and slashed hard on the chest of the mutated zombie. Poof! This knife directly cut several centimeters into the mutated zombie's body, causing the mutated zombie to suffer serious injuries. The mutated zombie got even more mad after being stabbed. The next moment, his body swelled even more and his eyes were red. He kept swinging his giant fists with great ferocity. It seems to have some special skills. Yi Feng dodged the attack, then swung his flaming sword and slashed at the zombies. Bah! This time, Yi Feng was surprised to find that his knife could only leave a small gash on his body. Its defensive power has become significantly stronger. It should have stimulated some kind of defensive ability, which must not be maintained for a long time. I just don't know how long it can last. This kind of strength, maybe it has been promoted to the first level in advance. Yi Feng's heart moved. The mutated zombies attacked again, leaping high, falling from the sky, and smashed into Yi Feng. On one side of Yi Feng's body, the mutated zombies' attack failed and hit the ground. Boom! Gravel was flying and dust was flying. Taking this opportunity, Yi Feng slashed with his knife and made several wounds on the mutated zombies. The mutated zombies became even more frantic, waving their fists and attacking Yi Feng. Much stronger than first-level ordinary zombies. From a somatosensory perspective, this mutated zombie seems to be a first-level elite zombie. Yi Feng estimated that if he could see the zombie's combat power index, it would definitely be in the hundreds. It's not something that ordinary superpowers can compete with. Yi Feng became more and more surprised as he fought. I suddenly remembered. In his previous life, the superpower who called himself the God of Fire seemed to have had a shocking battle with a zombie king. It can't be you. If that's the case, it would be a pity to kill him directly. A zombie that can grow quickly is a good leak. Yi Feng thought silently in his heart. Roar! The mutated zombies let out an earth-shattering roar. Its eyes were red, it had completely lost its mind, and it fought only on instinct. Its power and defense are very powerful. If we continue to fight like this, I might win. But it will definitely take a lot of time. I just boasted about my awesomeness, and it seems like it's only been a minute now. In that case, let's fight quickly. Yi Feng is preparing to use the Chaos God Thunder ability. Yi Feng appeared in front of the zombies instantly like lightning. Then, he stretched out his palm. I saw thunderballs gathering on his palm, and arcs of electricity wrapping around him. The next moment, arcs of electricity spurted out from his hands. Sizzle! The mutated zombies did not hide. After turning on the skill, it has lost its instinct to seek advantages and avoid disadvantages. In its eyes, attacks from small humans have been experienced for a long time and are not to be feared at all. The gray electric arc instantly hit the mutated zombies. Boom. Electricity surges and thunder explodes. Crackling. The mutated zombie instantly stood on the spot, its body stiff. The next moment, the mutated zombie roared unwillingly, and then with a bang, it exploded into slag and scattered on the ground. Kill instantly with one hit. Chaos Divine Thunder is still as useful as ever. A hint of surprise flashed across Yifeng's eyes. Not far away, Zhao Wumei and others are observing the battle situation with high-powered telescopes. I happened to see Yifeng killing zombies instantly. Everyone stood stunned on the spot, their eyes full of shock. Everyone in the supermarket slowly came to their senses. Thunder. Oh my god, the big guy just died like this. Only the scum is left. Why is Yifeng so outrageous? Su Xiaoxiao was jumping up and down with joy. Yifeng is so handsome, he can kill him instantly with one move. She turned around and glanced at Zhao Dongming. Some people, what do you say? Zhao Dongming stood blankly on the side without speaking. His body couldn't help but tremble. Thinking back on my behavior today, I feel like I have repaid myself to the Lord of Hell twice. Yifeng can kill himself 10 times with just one thunder, no, 100 times. It's great to be alive. Everyone was amazed, and Zhao Wumei was no exception. Although she has thought that Yifeng might be very strong. But what she didn't expect was that Yifeng was so powerful. In front of this mutated zombie, she could only flee in panic. However, when the mutated zombies faced Yifeng, they couldn't survive several rounds and died. The difference in strength is naturally clear at a glance. It is truly worthy of being above the legend. Zhao's charming eyes flashed. The most important thing is thunder, is Yifeng's superpower. Thinking of this, Zhao Charming felt excited. This means that I will soon have thunder attribute power. Yifeng's excessive strength aroused everyone's discussion. Yifeng is not pretending, he is really awesome. Sister Mei, your judgment is really amazing. Yes, if we offend Yifeng, he can probably kill us all in a few minutes. How many minutes? Haha, just a few seconds is enough. Su Xiaoxiao's face was full of admiration. The mutant zombie is like a toy in front of him. Some people also looked puzzled. That's not right, isn't he a space superpower? How can he still release thunder? No way, the gap between people is really too big. The other side, Yifeng lowered his head and glanced at the charred debris on the ground, looking a little helpless. He used the flame sword to poke a few times into the zombie debris, and Yifeng couldn't help but sigh. Oh, I didn't control my strength well. Regardless of whether there were any good things in the mutated zombies, they no longer exist. The Chaos Divine Thunder used by Yifeng with all his strength represents the ultimate destruction. There will be no loot left at all. Yifeng's eyes moved slightly. It seems that in the future, we will continue to exercise and control the power of the Chaos God Thunder. Strive to use the Chaos Divine Thunder like an arm and a finger. At this moment, the system prompt sounded. Tip. Kill mutated zombies for the first time, feel happy, and reward +10 fish baits. Woohoo! Fishing bait +10 servings. Yifeng felt a burst of joy in his heart. This time I have gained something. Immediately, Yifeng glanced in a certain direction thoughtfully, with a smile on his lips. Stretch out your hand and make an OK gesture. Then Yifeng dodged and disappeared. The other side, everyone looked at each other. Did he find us? That's not nonsense. It's outrageous that we can be found so far away. Aren't you curious why ordinary zombies don't attack him? Maybe he's scared. He's scarier than a mutated zombie. Quote. Zhao Charming's beautiful eyes became brighter and brighter. Space, thunder, kill mutated zombies instantly, ordinary zombies do not attack. Yifeng, what secrets do you have about you? And what exactly is my superpower? Zhao Wumei was filled with curiosity. Su Xiaoxiao on the side also looked admiring. At this time, Zhao Wumei turned around slowly and glanced at Zhao Dongming, who was trembling. Also, certain people's promises must be fulfilled. Ah, Zhao Dongming smiled bitterly and regretted it for a while. Why should I be so mean? Zhao Wumei felt happy and said secretly. You deserve it if you dare to look down on Yifeng. Get out of Fortune Plaza. Yifeng silently thought about where to go next. At this time, ding dong, there's a message coming. Yifeng clicked on the message and found that it was from Zhao Wumei. After the two sides competed in skills before, Yifeng became friends with her. Zhao Wumei. Yifeng, is your superpower thunder? Yifeng raised the corner of his mouth slightly and typed a reply. Yes. Next moment, Zhao Wumei sent a series of happy little rabbit emoticons. Yifeng also smiled and put away his phone, thinking silently. From the supermarket in Fortune Plaza, Yifeng knew that as long as there was electricity, a large amount of meat would not go bad for the time being. However, once the power goes out, all the frozen goods in the refrigerated warehouse may suffer. The same goes for slaughterhouses, places where large amounts of meat are stored. Yifeng thought for a while. The collection of supplies in supermarkets can be postponed. Anyway, it won't expire in a short time. Before the power goes out in this city, it is the right decision to collect as much meat products as possible and hoard more supplies. After thinking, Yifeng made a decision. The next target is the frozen warehouse of the slaughterhouse. Yifeng clicked on the evil map and started searching the slaughterhouse. Soon, the map showed that Yifeng was quite close to a slaughterhouse in Zhongcheng. Moreover, this slaughterhouse is one of the largest slaughterhouses in Zhongcheng. Yifeng smiled slightly. In that case, let's go. On the road, a heavy truck is speeding down the road at its maximum speed. Whoosh whoosh, the truck left a trail of afterimages. The person driving the car was Yifeng. After leaving the supermarket, Yifeng chose to go straight to the slaughterhouse. At first, he started off on a small electric bike. But later, as there were fewer and fewer zombies on the road gradually opened up. Yifeng dislikes the small electric speed being too slow. At this moment, he happened to encounter a heavy-duty truck that could be driven on the roadside. Yifeng decisively replaced his small electric car with a large truck. Replacing electric vehicles with large trucks will naturally have a different effect. It's like exchanging a shotgun for a cannon. At this point, the field of vision is widened and the speed is amazing. Yifeng slammed on the brakes and drove all the way to his destination. Not long after, Yifeng arrived at Hongtu Slaughterhouse. Yifeng parked the heavy truck on the side of the road. Jumped out of the car, turned around and put the truck into the space. Look around. There is still blood mist around, and the sky and the earth are misty. The ground is paved with asphalt. The surrounding plants are taller and more upright than before the doomsday. Next to the gate of the slaughterhouse, there are two trees. One is a willow tree, and the other is also a willow tree. Yifeng walked to the gate and was surprised to find that there was a nest of little sparrows on one of the willow trees. They seemed to be just born, pink and hairless. Yifeng was thoughtful. In this doomsday disaster, animals, like people, will suffer three fates. One is to become a zombie and evolve into another species. The second is to control the extraordinary. Humans will have supernatural powers, while animals will mutate directly and become mutant beasts, also called alien beasts. The third is that there is no change and they directly fall to the bottom of the food chain. On the other hand, plants will undergo collective changes. However, that is a matter for the future. Yifeng's eyes moved slightly. The nest of birds in front of me seems to be just an ordinary sparrow. They are lucky to be alive till now. Ignore the little sparrow. Yifeng walked into the slaughtering area. Enter the gate. A bloody aura rushed towards his face. Yifeng frowned slightly and looked around. There was nothing all around. Overturned tables and chairs, dried blood, broken bones. No zombies. Yifeng increased his vigilance. Normally, there should be some zombies here. After all, slaughterhouses have employees. Yifeng activated his spiritual skills and continued to look around. No survivors, no zombies. Yifeng moved forward carefully. Cold storage area close to the slaughterhouse. At this time, ho ho ho, a low roaring sound came. Yifeng took a closer look. A giant pig-like monster walked out of the shadows in the distance. Yifeng was stunned for a moment, then suddenly realized. It turns out to be a mutated zombie. It seems to be a mutated zombie pig. Fear the unknown in everything. After knowing what kind of monster it was, Yifeng relaxed a little and looked up to observe. The monster was up to 3 meters tall, with blood-red eyes and sharp teeth. The skin is pale, covered with black blood vessels, and there is a thick layer of cortex in parts of the body, which looks extremely solid. They are non-human mutated zombies, but they are bluffing. I hope you have the crystal core I need in your head. Yifeng looked calm and stared at the monster in front of him. At this moment, a group of more than 10 trumpet monsters emerged from the corner. Wow, they all have blood-red eyes and saber-toothed fangs, but you can still vaguely see what they once looked like as domestic pigs. Yifeng was stunned and slightly surprised. You actually have a little brother. Like humans, some animals will turn into zombies, such as zombie pigs, zombie dogs, zombie cats, etc. Among these zombie creatures, mutated zombies are also born. The pig-like mutated zombies in front of us are essentially the same as human mutated zombies. Mutated zombies, whether human or beast, are often extremely powerful. The most important thing is that they will definitely produce crystal nuclei or special crystal nuclei. All the employees in the slaughterhouse were probably eaten by these mutated zombies. Yifeng thought silently. Ho ho ho. The mutated zombie launched a rapid sprint towards Yifeng, with a ferocious appearance and very fast speed. In the blink of an eye, he arrived in front of Yifeng. Yifeng could even see the clear blood vessels and ferocious fangs on the pig's head. A smelly smell rushed towards me. Yifeng held the flame sword tightly, and at the moment when the mutated zombie was about to hit him, he nimbly turned sideways and avoided the attack. At the same time, before the mutated zombie could react, he swung his knife and struck at its neck. Poof! This knife cut directly into the body 30 centimeters, and the bone was visible deep. A stream of black blood sputtered out. Ouch! The zombie was in pain, and immediately let out a scream, and then spit out a ball of brown secretion angrily. Yifeng ducked and dodged easily. Bah! Brown secretions fell on the ground, directly corroding the ground. The saliva is poisonous. Yifeng was wary. Ouch! At this moment, the zombie pig king's boys launched an attack on Yifeng. Yifeng waved his hand. Several waves of terrifying gray thunder energy burst out from his palm. Boom boom boom. The 4 zombie pigs headed by them turned into powder the moment they came into contact with the thunder. The zombie pigs that followed were completely irrational and continued to rush towards Yifeng. Yifeng took out the Desert Eagle and pulled the trigger. Bang, bang, bang. Speeding bullets shot into the eye sockets of zombie pigs. Poof! Guns and guns are bleeding. Not long after, Yifeng cleaned up all the zombie pigs. Seeing the younger brothers falling down, the mutant zombie was completely angry. Roar! It roared wildly, its body expanded rapidly, and its scarlet eyes became even redder. In an instant, it expanded into a terrifying monster 5 meters high. Yifeng looked very small in front of it. Transformation is over. The monster opened its blood-red eyes and pounced cruelly on Yifeng. As fast as lightning, Yifeng slightly bent his legs, launched himself into the air, and jumped high in an instant. Mid-air, the mutated zombie pig hasn't reacted yet. Yifeng raised his knife and chopped it down. Poof! The black blood surged and spattered several meters away. Ouch! This knife cuts the mutated zombies even crazier. It launches a violent attack. However, Yifeng was much faster than it and easily dodged all its attacks. In this battle, Yifeng was not prepared to use the Chaos Divine Thunder ability. At present, he is still unable to accurately control the power of the Chaos Divine Thunder. I'm afraid I might accidentally use too much force again. Just like killing supermarket zombies, just beat the mutated zombie in front of you to pieces. Fight for several rounds. The mutated zombie realized that it was no match for Yifeng. At the same time, the transformation time is coming to an end. After another attack, it shrank in size, turned around and ran away. Yifeng was stunned and immediately chased after him. How could he let it go? He chases, it escapes. Yifeng was faster than the mutated zombies and quickly caught up. Cut it off with one knife. Poof! Along with the shrill scream, the pig's head flew into the sky. Black blood spurted out and splashed everywhere. The mutated zombie's body collapsed to the ground. Dust and gravel flew everywhere. The zombie pig's body twitched slightly for a few times, and then stopped moving. Yifeng let out a breath of turbid air and looked happy. It takes about 3 minutes. This mutated zombie has super vitality. It is indeed a bit troublesome to deal with it just by relying on physical attacks. We must temper the Chaos Divine Thunder as soon as possible. Yifeng never expected that one day he would be troubled by the fact that his powers were too powerful. Tip. Trigger event. Tip. Bonus bait plus 10 copies. 10 servings of bait. Yi Feng was pleasantly surprised. Although the system didn't say it, it might have something to do with the first time he killed a mutated zombie animal. Yi Feng focused his attention on the monster corpse in front of him. This monster is not weak. Will it have a crystal core? Yi Feng stepped forward, brandished his flaming sword, opened a hole in the mutant zombie's head, and then continued to explore with the knife. Not long after, Yi Feng's blade touched a hard object. A flash of surprise flashed in Yi Feng's eyes. It seems, something has been gained. Yi Feng's eyes couldn't help but light up. He didn't care about the dirt and directly reached out to touch it. After groping for a while, Yi Feng took out a hard object. A thought came to my mind. Yi Feng took out the mineral water from the storage space and cleaned the object. A crystal core the size of a thumb was displayed in front of Yi Feng. Crystal core, really a crystal core? Yi Feng looked happy. He felt an absorbable energy from the crystal core. Yi Feng let out a breath. I can finally absorb the crystal core and improve my strength. Generally speaking, crystal nuclei are divided into ordinary crystal nuclei and special crystal nuclei. After a few days, the zombies collectively advance to the first level, and the crystal nuclei produced are ordinary first-level crystal nuclei. When the mutated zombies advance to the first level, the crystal nuclei produced are the first-level special crystal nuclei. Special crystal nuclei not only contain more energy, but also contain special energy. If a person with superpowers wants to improve his level, he must first increase his body's energy reserves to the limit, that is, to 7 stars. After a superpower reaches 7 stars, he must absorb a special crystal core to have a chance to break the shackles of the human body and advance to the next level. With the formation of crystal nuclei, could it be said that the mutant zombie pig in front of us has reached the first level of strength? Yi Feng's eyes flashed, thoughtfully. After a long time, Yi Feng shook his head. Anyway, this crystal core can be used to increase strength, and it can also be used to break ranks. Yi Feng put the crystal core into the storage space with a look of joy. Whether to absorb the crystal core or not, we should wait until tonight. Next, it's harvest time. Yi Feng stepped into the storage room of the slaughterhouse. Walking into the door, Yi Feng scanned the whole place. In the huge cold storage workshop, there are rows of large freezers. The freezers I bought were filled with all kinds of frozen meats. Pork, beef, mutton, divided into categories, all labeled, and the quantity is amazing. Wow, it is indeed the largest slaughterhouse in Zhongcheng. The reserves are really rich. Yi Feng was filled with admiration in his heart. A thought. Yi Feng began to quickly collect the frozen meat. Everywhere you look, wow, countless frozen meats, as well as the freezers containing them, were put into the storage space by Yi Feng. Collect, collect, collect. Yi Feng had a smile on his face and was overjoyed. Cool. Yi Feng quickly traveled through the entire freezing workshop. A quarter of an hour later, Yi Feng looted the entire refrigeration workshop. The harvest is bountiful. There are 5,400 tons of frozen pork, 1,200 tons of frozen beef, and 800 tons of frozen mutton. Yi Feng would never be able to eat all this meat in 100 lifetimes. This wave is so profitable. Yi Feng left the slaughterhouse with excitement on his face. Out of the slaughterhouse, Yi Feng took out the truck from the space and prepared to leave. At this moment, Yi Feng was suddenly startled. Not far away, a zombie cat with sharp teeth and claws and glowing green eyes was wreaking havoc among the birds' nests in the tree. Yi Feng didn't think much. He immediately took out his pistol and pulled the trigger. Boom! The bullets flew out and the zombie cat fell to the ground. Then, Yi Feng stepped forward and came to the willow tree. There was originally a nest of birds in the willow tree, but now there is only one baby bird left. To be precise, it's a pink sparrow baby. The bald young bird is red and looks particularly ugly. Yi Feng looked around and found no other adult sparrows. Its mother may be dead. Yi Feng thought silently. If he didn't care, given the current environment, the baby sparrows would undoubtedly die. It's a fate. Yi Feng smiled, stretched out his hand to carefully put away the cute little sparrow, and held it in his hand. In the past life, some strong men would subdue some powerful mutant beasts as their subordinates. I have it on hand, and it seems I can cultivate a few. On the highway, Yi Feng hummed a tune and drove a heavy truck, speeding all the way. The secular world has its way, men are fearless. Success or failure, right or wrong, must be faced calmly. It was already half an hour later, and Yifeng had already entered the city. The little sparrow chick looked full of energy under Yifeng's sacred blessing. It still doesn't bark, but is now walking around on the passenger seat of the heavy truck. Give the little sparrow a name, what should it be called? At this moment, a sudden change occurred. Bang 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 bang. There was an urgent sound of gunfire. Snapped. The window glass of Yifeng's truck shattered. At the same time, his truck was swinging wildly like a wild horse. It's a flat tire. Yifeng calmly controlled the steering wheel, pressed the brakes continuously, and forced the truck to park slowly on the side of the road. Fortunately, he has proficient driving skills, otherwise he would definitely overturn. After parking the car, Yifeng glanced at the passenger seat and his face suddenly turned gloomy. His bird exploded. The baby sparrow obtained was hit by one of the bullets, and its body was shattered into pieces in a bloody mess. Yifeng's heart sank. Now that everything is like this, can you still be alive? Checking sideways. Sure enough. Yifeng's eyes were cold. The baby sparrow is dead. Yifeng jumped out of the car with a livid face. The bullets that flew from nowhere not only shattered the tires and glass of his truck, but also blew up his bird. It's really unforgivable. Yifeng was filled with anger. He didn't recruit anyone or provoke anyone. Who is it? I will definitely find you out. You will be cut into pieces. His eyes were filled with monstrous rage. Through the location of the bullets in the truck tires, Yifeng quickly determined that the attackers were in several buildings on the side of the road. But there are several buildings on that side, and there are even more survivors inside. It is not easy to identify the shooter. Even so, Yifeng immediately had an idea. A thought came to my mind. Yifeng puts the heavy truck into the storage space. The figure flashed and turned into an afterimage, rushing towards the tallest building. In the building, in a room, a young man holding a gun was shaking slightly and his face was a little pale. It seems to be a person with superpowers. It seems like we are in trouble now. The other young men in the room also looked a little ugly. What to do now? I'm so panicked. I'm sorry. I'm going to find my brother. The young man left a sentence and then rushed out of the door. Only a few younger brothers were left, looking at each other at a loss. Yifeng here has already arrived downstairs. I saw his legs slightly bent, he started bouncing, and jumped. Jumped directly into a house on the 8th floor. There is no one in this household. Yifeng narrowed his eyes slightly. Enhanced hearing, plus mental power detection. In an instant, a large amount of information came into Yifeng's mind. Mom, I'm hungry. You're a complete piece of shit. How could I be blind and marry you? Yifeng thought. Start investigating one by one and collect information. The first family, a middle-aged couple, was excluded. The second family, a fat otaku, is excluded. The third house, no one. Yifeng's idea is simple. The person who shot him must have malicious intentions towards him. Yifeng just needs to find the people in the building who have ill intentions towards him. Then just kill them all. This household is not. This is not. There was no harvest for a while, and Yifeng was not discouraged. After walking out of the room, Yifeng kept walking through the corridors and continued to collect information. The 8th house. The 12th house. At this moment, Yifeng's eyes suddenly lit up. In a house on the 10th floor, there were 3 hooligans with dyed yellow hair and somewhat ugly faces. Inside the house, there was a woman who was tortured and had no human form. Yifeng was shocked. There was something familiar about this woman. She seemed to be a movie star. There are also these yellow-haired young men who have varying degrees of malice towards him. Found you. A sneer appeared at the corner of Yifeng's mouth. Then his figure flashed and disappeared. 10th floor. In a room somewhere, the 3 hooligans looked at each other. Zhou Wanjun ran away. What should we do? That superpower shouldn't be able to find us. As soon as I finished speaking, I heard the door bang. Someone kicked the door open. The 3 people's hearts trembled and they all looked at each other. I saw a man in black walking through the door with an evil look in his eyes. This person is Yifeng. The 3 young men couldn't help but tremble when they saw Yifeng. It was so unusual to see 3 people. Yi Feng also knew something in his mind. At this moment, he was 100% sure that these people were the ones who attacked him just now. Did you shoot just now? Yi Feng asked in a cold tone. The three of them looked a little pale. Several of them were in the building just now, but they witnessed Yi Feng's behavior of closing the car and his inhuman speed of movement. Naturally, we know that Yi Feng is most likely a person with supernatural powers and is very difficult to mess with. Brother, what are you talking about? I don't understand. One of them said with an innocent face, while quietly touching the weapon at his waist. Yi Feng snorted coldly, dodged, came to his side, stretched out his hand and strangled his neck. The man was about to say something. Click. Yi Feng used a little force to crush his neck. This man suddenly died of anger. Now, think about it before we talk. Yi Feng looked at the remaining two people in the room with an indifferent expression. Maid, I will fight with you. Another Huang Mao excitedly took out his pistol and was about to pull the trigger. The next moment, the sword flashed. Poof! His palm and the pistol fell to the ground on the spot, and blood continued to gush out like a fountain. Ah, my hand! Huang Mao fell to the ground, covering his hands and wailing in pain. Yi Feng sneered, took one step forward, and without hesitation crushed his head like a watermelon. Red and white things are splashing everywhere. Yi Feng turned to look at the third person and grinned like a devil. Now, you are the only one left. If you have anything to say, think about it before you say it. The last remaining Xiao Wangmao was almost frightened to see his companions die tragically, and his legs and feet became weak. Me, Xiao Wangmao panicked and said nothing. Is this your answer? Yi Feng's tone was cold. Xiao Wangmao was horrified and suddenly fell to the ground. No, I said everything. It was Zhou Wanjin who fired the gun. He said you were too arrogant. You drove away in a truck, and he was very unhappy. He fired the shot himself, we are just bystanders. Zhou Wanjin fired so many shots. It really has nothing to do with me. Xiao Wangmao was like pouring beans, telling everything he knew without reservation. Oh, Yi Feng's eyes moved slightly and he asked. This Zhou Wanjin you are talking about, where is he now? Xiao Wangmao did not hesitate and replied immediately. He ran away. When Zhou Wanjin saw you rushing over, he realized something was wrong and immediately went to the 13th floor to find his brother. His brother is a powerful superpower who can condense the power of ice and destroy everything easily. Yi Feng nodded, expressing understanding. Then Yi Feng asked again. Where did you people come from? Xiao Wangmao immediately said. Both the Zhou brothers ran away from Qingcheng prison. It is said that they beat the prison guard to death. Zhou Wanrong has a lot of firearms and a lot of manpower. We were originally residents here, and then we were forced to join under the coercion of the Zhou brothers. Brother, I am innocent, I haven't done anything bad. Yi Feng was thoughtful. Zhou Wanrong. Yi Feng had heard of this person in his previous life. He seems to be a very powerful ice attribute user and the leader of a force. Zhou Wanjin also has the ability to transform into a beast. The two Zhou brothers have hundreds of younger brothers and own many guns. However, they later seemed to be absorbed by a stronger force of superpowers. If Yi Feng remembers correctly, he should have joined the team of the superpower Vulcan and had little interaction with Yi Feng. It seems that Zhou Wanrong has awakened the ice attribute power. Zhou Wanjin has not yet awakened. You brothers lived quite a prosperous life in the last life. But if you mess with me in this life, your life is over. Thinking of his tragic death, Yi Feng felt a little sad. Brother, I told you, please let me go. Xiao Wangmao kept begging. Yi Feng nodded and smiled slightly. You're good. Thank you for the information. Xiao Wangmao was so surprised that he was granted amnesty. Thank you for letting me go. A sneer appeared at the corner of Yi Feng's mouth. It's impossible to let you go. I'll send you on your way. Xiao Wangmao was suddenly as cold as if he had fallen into an ice cellar. You are not trustworthy. I told you everything. Yi Feng sneered. When did I say that I would let you go? Xiao Wangmao's eyes widened, as if he wanted to say something more. Yi Feng raised his knife and dropped it. The sword flashed. A line of blood instantly appeared on this person's throat. Grr, blood keeps spurting out. Xiao Wangmao used his hands to cover his face with fear, but found that he couldn't cover it up. Why? In the end, he fell to the ground and died with a look of unwillingness. All three died. Yi Feng glanced at the unconscious female star in the room. I saw that the woman's hands and feet were severed and she was already a disabled person. Moreover, not only was her body covered with scars, her eyes were also blind, her ears and nose were also cut off. It was so miserable. Her injuries were too severe and she could die at any time. A bunch of scum. Yi Feng was filled with resentment. What a beautiful beauty she was. Yi Feng stepped forward and raised his hand to send a sacred blessing. White light fell on the woman. The woman groaned and still didn't wake up. Yi Feng looked down at the woman's injuries again, and increased his intensity. The woman woke up leisurely. I'm still alive. Yi Feng sighed, yes, but I'm afraid you are going to die. The woman lowered her head, looking at her miserable state, feeling despairing. After a long time, she laughed miserably, give me a pleasure. Okay. Yi Feng nodded, stepped forward and grabbed her throat. Click. The woman's throat was crushed and she died. There was nothing she could do to save her, so Yi Feng could only help her reduce her pain. Yi Feng felt a little emotional. He used to like the dramas filmed by this female star. What a pity. This is the end of the world. Yi Feng glanced at the corpses on the ground again. They were all scum, and death would not be a pity. Then Yi Feng turned and left. Brothers of the Zhou family, it's your turn next. 13th floor. In a room. Brother. It's not good. The younger brother Zhou Wanjin found his elder brother out of breath. Brother, I seem to have gotten into big trouble. The eldest brother Zhou Wanrong was enjoying himself. When he saw his younger brother acting like this, he couldn't help but frown and looked unhappy. If you don't yell like that, what will you do if you attract zombies? Quiet down and speak slowly. Beneath Zhou Wanrong, there is a woman kneeling to serve him. A sense of comfort made him squint his eyes slightly. Oh, his younger brother Zhou Wanjin nodded obediently. Brother, here's the thing. I just saw a heavy truck passing by, and I fired a few shots at the car. As a result, not only did the car not overturn, but a person with superpowers got out of the car, turned around and submerged the car in a flash, and ran towards our building. I felt something wasn't right at the time. This might be a person with superpowers. Zhou Wanjin paused and continued. Not only that, this guy's speed is also extremely fast, just like the wind. I judged that it must be a person with superpowers, so I immediately ran to you, brother. Brother, you have to save me. Hearing this, Zhou Wanrong's face immediately darkened. A person with superpowers who can turn heavy trucks into oblivion. Moving very fast, Zhou Wanrong frowned and became angry. He pointed at Zhou Wanjin's nose and cursed. What do you say you owe? Don't you know our rules for doing things? Either don't do it or never do it. Ah, don't you understand? Zhou Wanrong suddenly raised his voice. Zhou Wanjin at the door was startled by him, and his body suddenly trembled. The woman under Zhou Wanrong was also shocked. His body trembled as he exerted too much force and his teeth chattered. Hiss. Zhou Wanrong felt a little pain and couldn't help but take a breath. His face was expressionless and he looked at the woman below him. The woman suddenly felt as cold as if she had fallen into an ice cellar. Trembling all over, Zhou Wanrong often kills people randomly, is moody, and is more like a devil than a devil. The woman knelt down and begged for mercy with a look of horror on her face. Boss Zhou, I was wrong. Don't kill me, please, please. Zhou Wanrong smiled gently, reached out and patted her face, and said. No, you were right, it was me who was wrong. The woman was startled for a moment, then breathed a long sigh of relief. But in the next moment, Zhou Wanrong suddenly stretched out his hand to strangle the woman's neck and twisted it hard. Click. The woman's head turned and she died with a frightened look on her face. Fangs and sharp mouth. Zhou Wanrong sneered and threw the woman's body on the ground. Brother Zhou Wanjin glanced at the woman's body. Although her appearance is average, she has fair skin, a big butt, and nice legs. Brother, you are so wasteful. It's hard to find beautiful women nowadays. Zhou Wanjin was thinking wildly on the sidelines. Try to find. Suddenly he had a flash of inspiration and thought of something. Then he said with excitement. Brother, do you think that superhuman being can't find me at all? After all, he didn't know it was me who shot him. Zhou Wanrong stood up and said coldly. We are very conspicuous here. That person with superpowers will definitely find us as long as he has enough patience. Zhou Wanjin was a little unwilling. The eldest brother Zhou Wanrong put on his clothes, then turned to his younger brother and said, "Remember, I will wipe your butt again. But, this is the last time. Do you understand?" When his younger brother Zhou Wanjin heard this, he breathed a sigh of relief. He smiled. With my brother taking action, this wave is stable. Zhou Wanjin couldn't help but relax and began to mutter. I wonder, we usually just kill people for fun. Who would have thought that this time we would be unlucky enough to meet a person with superpowers, and he's also a driving expert. At such a fast speed, it can stop smoothly even if a tire bursts. It's ridiculous. It's really unlucky. I'll go hang out with a few girls later to find out the feeling. Quote. He muttered quietly to the side. Zhou Wanrong ignored him and gave orders to the other boys in the room. Convey my orders and summon all brothers who can fight. Understood, Brother Rong. The younger brothers acted quickly. Soon after, a large group of people gathered in Zhou Wanrong's house. There was a roar of people. Zhou Wanrong explained the situation to them. However, a group of younger brothers disagreed with this. Boss, I thought it was a big deal, but this is just a piece of cake. Yeah, so what if he is a superpower? How powerful are you to have a boss? Besides, it's not like we haven't killed him before. That's right, even people with superpowers are afraid of bullets. When we broke out of the prison, didn't we kill a prison guard with superpowers? One of the younger brothers even had a sarcastic smile on his face. We have more than 10 guns here. No matter who comes, they are enough to beat him to death. Zhou Wanrong also showed a sneer. I think he should be a capable person and will act according to the opportunity. It's not impossible to adopt him as a dog. It depends on whether he understands the situation. Just then, a clear voice came. Knowing faces. It's quite interesting. Yi Feng walked into the room slowly and looked around. There are more than 20 people and more than a dozen guns. Others who did not hold a gun also had a stick or a long knife. Yi Feng suddenly sneered and said, "Very good. A bunch of losers have gathered together and saved me a lot of trouble. It's great. You can say your last words now." Hearing Yi Feng say this, a group of boys suddenly became angry and cursed together. Nemas, you little brat. You are so arrogant. Little fool, believe it or not, I will beat the shit out of you. Quote. Zhou Wanrong waved his hand confidently to stop everyone from cursing. He looked Yi Feng up and down again, then said with a smile. Brother, as the saying goes, it is better to dissolve enemies than to make enemies. I am a person with superpowers, and brother, you are no ordinary person either. I heard you can make a truck disappear in an instant, and very fast. Are these your last words? Yi Feng said with cold eyes. Zhou Wanrong suppressed the anger in his heart and forced out a smile. Brother, you haven't lost anything. I'm willing to compensate you for a box of instant noodles and 10 ham sausages. What do you think? Also, Wanjin, come here and make amends to this brother. His younger brother Zhou Wanjin stood up carelessly. Oh, I was just joking with my brother. I don't think he's so angry. I'm so sorry. Come on, shake hands, we will be good buddies from now on. Before he finished speaking, there was a flash of sword light. Poof! Zhou Wanjin's arm fell off instantly. Zhou Wanjin's arm fell to the ground. Blood spurts out like a spring. Ah, my hand ah. Zhou Wanjin immediately screamed like a slaughtering pig. Yi Feng said coldly, be a brother to me. You do not deserve. His younger brother Zhou Wanjin folded his arms and rolled on the ground. Brother, my arm is gone. Grab him quickly. I want to make his life worse than death. The eldest brother Zhou Wanrong was also a little surprised. His face darkened and he cursed secretly. It's so shameless. Issue the order immediately. Everyone, shoot. Zhou Wanrong didn't mean to underestimate his opponent and decisively ordered the shooting. The younger brothers showed a cruel smile, pulled the triggers one after another, and fired together. Bang 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 bang. Endless bullets are like dense raindrops, shooting towards Yi Feng. Face this scene. Yi Feng just smiled indifferently and did not dodge. Seeing this, Zhou Wanrong frowned. Are you scared out of your wits? HMPH. It's a shame that I looked at him favorably. It turns out to be a little trash. However, the next moment, the situation in front of them made everyone stunned on the spot, and they couldn't believe their eyes. I saw Yi Feng's body suddenly shrouded in a layer of golden light. The bullets they fired landed on the golden light and were ejected directly, flying everywhere. Yi Feng himself was completely unscathed. Why? This is impossible. Indestructible body. The younger brothers were a little panicked. Zhou Wanrong also looked shocked. What the hell is this? However, he reacted immediately. It's a superpower. Brothers, don't stop, keep beating me. His special ability requires a lot of energy, so there must be an upper limit. When the younger brothers heard this, they were relieved and immediately increased their efforts. Bang 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 bang. A large number of bullets continued to shoot out. Yi Feng was calm, bathing in the hail of bullets, and slowly moved forward. It's like taking a leisurely stroll. Yi Feng was filled with emotion. The Supreme Divine Ring is invincible. Immunity to all harm is really not a guarantee. Yi Feng is like a golden god of war, pressing forward step by step. Seeing that everyone's attacks had no effect, Zhou Wanrong was so anxious that he broke out in sweat. I don't believe that your broken cover can withstand all attacks. His face was solemn, and he gently clasped his palms, condensing a ball of cold energy between his fingers. Your defense must have limits. This mass of energy is composed of ice, which is so cold that it seems to be able to freeze everything. My power is an epic power, frost control. I also learned a skill, ice arrow. It's impossible to resist the person in front of you. Zhou Wanrong gritted his teeth and thought silently. Intensify, I want to increase my intensity. Zhou Wanrong directly drained all the energy from his body in one breath. The powerful ice energy continued to roll and squirm in Zhou Wanrong's palm, eventually forming a small ice sword. The ice sword is crystal clear, with a large number of ice crystal patterns, and exudes a breath of ice. Zhou Wanrong's eyes were cold and he waved his hand violently. Go to hell. The small sword made of ice shot out like a flying arrow from the string. An icy trail streaked through the air. The next moment, the ice arrow successfully hit Yi Feng. Boom! Energy suddenly burst out on Yi Feng. Ha ha ha, it's done. Zhou Wanrong showed a look of ecstasy. The boys next to him were also very excited. Hit! The boss's ice arrow is so powerful that it will destroy the world. He is dead. However, the next moment, their voices stopped abruptly. I saw Yi Feng's body flashing with golden light. The ice sword instantly turned into a piece of ice mist, and then dissipated in the air. Yi Feng was unscathed. Not even a single wrinkle appeared on the clothes. That's outrageous. This is impossible. Absolutely impossible. Zhou Wanrong's eyes almost popped out of his head, with a look of disbelief on his face. All the younger brothers were also in chaos. Yi Feng smiled coldly and said, Boss Zhou, use whatever means you have. Zhou Wanrong's heart sank to the bottom of the valley, like falling into an abyss. My ice arrows are more powerful than bombs. How could you be unscathed? Yi Feng said coldly. Can't figure it out. Go to hell and think about it. Yi Feng gently grasped his right hand, and a gray electric arc surged wildly in his hand. The terrifying pressure spreads. Sizzle. Thunder surges and lightning flashes. The terrifying thunder energy made everyone present tremble. He is a lightning power user. OMG. Quote. Everyone's expressions were extremely ugly. No, I don't want to die. A young man suddenly dropped his weapon and rushed towards the door. Yi Feng's thoughts moved, and an electric arc shot out. Boom. A flash of lightning flashed, and an electric arc struck the running boy's body. This person's body immediately turned into powder and scattered on the ground. Such a terrifying scene made everyone present feel as cold as if they had fallen into an ice cellar. No, don't kill me. Oh my God, spare my life. Everyone lost their fighting spirit and fled in all directions, crying like ghosts and howling like wolves. Yi Feng waved his hand, and terrifying thunder energy surged out from his fingertips. The electric light flashes and surges. Crackling. Thunder shoots out like fireworks. Gorgeous and beautiful. Gray arcs of electricity turned into deadly death, and anyone who came into contact with it would be doomed to ashes. Not long after, more than 20 people were all dead. The only enemies still alive in the room were Zhou Wanjin, who was moaning on the ground without his arm, and his eldest brother Zhou Wanrong, who had a stiff expression on his face. After cleaning up all the miscellaneous soldiers, Yi Feng slowly walked towards his eldest brother Zhou Wanrong. At this moment, Zhou Wanrong was trembling all over and his face was extremely pale. He managed to remain calm, but the back of his body was already soaked in cold sweat. "Brother, it's all a misunderstanding. He doesn't want to die. He has awakened powerful ice attributes, and the future is promising. Brother, this is all my fault." Zhou Wanrong smiled dryly. Yi Feng's face was expressionless. Zhou Wanrong gritted his teeth, plopped, and knelt on the ground. "Please spare my life. I am willing to serve you and be your dog. I have awakened epic-level ice attributes. I will be the most useful tool in your hands. I am your dog, and I will fight wherever you point me from now on." Bang bang bang. Zhou Wanrong couldn't help but kowtow. Woof woof. At the same time, there was a trace of resentment in his eyes. Han Xin can endure the humiliation of his crotch. A man who can bend and stretch is a real man. One day, I will repay today's humiliation in full. Yi Feng saw this and smiled jokingly. "I killed so many of your men, you don't hate me?" Zhou Wanrong said without hesitation. "Don't hate them, they are all ordinary people, no matter how many they die, it doesn't matter." "Sir, Zhou Wanrong raised his head with a flattering expression. What he didn't expect was, the next moment, an arc of electricity flashed before his eyes. Arc flashed. Zhou Wanrong's expression is frozen forever. No, his body suddenly shattered and turned into charred black debris. "Zhou Wanrong, die. You don't deserve to be my dog." Yi Feng sneered. After killing Zhou Wanrong, Yi Feng looked at the last survivor in the room, Zhou Wanjin. At this moment, Zhou Wanjin looked horrified, his face was pale, and his body was trembling. "No, don't kill me. I was wrong, I was really wrong." Watching the eldest brother and all the brothers die tragically one by one, Zhou Wanjin felt regretful in his heart. Regret. Why did he shoot? Why would he invite such a terrifying evil star for his eldest brother? Regret engulfed his heart. Yi Feng slowly came to Zhou Wanjin, looked down from a high position, and raised the flaming sword. "No, don't. Please let me go." The one-armed Zhou Wanjin collapsed on the ground, urinating incontinently, like a dead dog. Yi Feng smiled coldly and slashed with his sword. The sword flashed. Whoosh. Zhou Wanjin's other arm slipped to the ground. Blood spurts out. "Ah!" Zhou Wanjin let out a shrill scream. Kill me quickly." Yi Feng swung his knife again and cut off his legs. Blood spurts out again. "Ah, please kill me." Zhou Wanjin screamed repeatedly and almost fainted. Yi Feng raised his hand and gave a sacred blessing. When the white light fell, Zhou Wanjin's condition immediately improved and he woke up from confusion. Yi Feng swung his knife again and cut off his other leg. "Ah!" Zhou Wanjin kept screaming. Yi Feng used holy blessing again, and then the fifth limb. After cutting off all 5 limbs of Zhou Wanrong, Yi Feng reached out and strangled Zhou Wanjin's neck, dragging a dead dog to the next floor. "Here, there is a group of zombies waiting for food. Open the door." Yi Feng lifted the spherical Zhou Wanjin into the air. With a divine blessing, Zhou Wanjin suddenly woke up. When he turned his head, he saw a group of zombies below him, and he was almost scared to death. He yelled in horror. "No, do not want. Please, give me a pleasure." Yi Feng's heart moved. According to the information from his previous life, Zhou Wanjin later awakened a beast-like ability. So Yi Feng tortured him like this, not entirely to vent his anger. Such torture has not awakened you. It seems that the survival instinct has little impact on the awakening of supernatural powers. After getting the answer, Yi Feng sneered. "It will be easier for you to die like this." After finishing speaking, Yi Feng threw Zhou Wanjin into the group of corpses. Wow! A large group of zombies came around, stretched out their claws and teeth, and bit Zhou Wanjin. No. Ah! Zhou Wanjin kept struggling, screaming at first, then gradually becoming silent. Yi Feng looked at him coldly and turned around to leave. What Yi Feng didn't know was that about 20 minutes after he left, in the room he had been to before, the dead female star lying on the floor suddenly had blood-red eyes and slowly got up. Half an hour later, Yi Feng returned to the city again. It was already afternoon. Yi Feng felt a little hungry and decided to find a hidden place to eat. Looking around, there are many buildings on the streets. Yi Feng jumped up, broke through the window, and entered a residential building on the street. This is an empty room on the 4th floor, and the environment is relatively clean and tidy. Yi Feng nodded with satisfaction. Just have some lunch here. Well, what should I eat? Yi Feng touched his chin and then had an idea. A thought came to my mind. Take a table out of the space and set it up. Then he took out the stove, pots, charcoal. Light the charcoal fire and take out a lot of hot pot ingredients again. Fresh cabbage, crystal vermicelli, plump yellow throat, tender beef, mellow mutton, various small meatballs. Watch the hot pot gradually heat up. Yi Feng took advantage of his free time and clicked on the panel. Click to see the number of baits. Bait, 40 servings. Yi Feng smiled slightly. He obtained 20 fish baits from Zhao Wumei. Kill the mutated zombies and get 10 fish bait. Kill the mutated zombie pig and get 10 fish bait. Total, 40 baits. This time I can do a little fishing. 40 chances, what can I catch? System, let me fish 20 times first. Yi Feng thought silently in his heart. Consumption of 20 bait, fishing items. Yi Feng's eyes were full of expectation and he waited silently. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting a 3-carat large diamond ring +1. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting +1 green yoga ball. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting the complete DVD set of the TV series, The Walking Dead, +1 set. Yi Feng touched his chin. This wave of luck doesn't seem to be very good. The so-called diamond ring is just a scam of capital. Yoga balls and TV series are of no use either. Fishing continues. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting +1 pair of black Tyrannosaurus sunglasses. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting 500 grams gold bricks +1. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and obtaining a rare skill, charming +1. Woohoo, there's something good. It's skill, charisma. Yi Feng was overjoyed. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting +1 high vibration jumping pill. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting +1 box of Qiantong muscle patch. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting +1 smell enhancement scroll. Here comes another strengthening scroll. Smell. The corners of Yi Feng's mouth rose. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting an RTX 4090 graphics card +1. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and obtaining a rare item, +1 eavesdropping bug. Eavesdropper. Seems like a good thing. Not long after, 20 fishing trips were over. Yi Feng immediately clicked to view the eavesdropping bug. Biology. Eavesdropping bug. Quality, rare. Description, a strange little insect that is extremely small and fragile when manifested. After activation, it will transform into an invisible and colorless bug, which can attach to the surface of any target and can also fly continuously to help the owner eavesdrop on the sound intelligence around it. It requires blood to identify the owner. Yi Feng thought for a while. Is it a flying bug? Invisible and colorless after startup. Even if no one can see it, it can't be destroyed, right? Not bad. Yi Feng took it out. It was found that the little bug was blue in color and only the size of a grain of rice. A thought came to my mind. Yi Feng squeezed out a tiny drop of blood from his finger. If there was too much blood, he was afraid that the eavesdropping bug would be drowned. The blood fell and the contract was established. Yi Feng found that he could drive the eavesdropping bug. A thought. The eavesdropping insect immediately transformed into an invisible and colorless flying insect, flying around Yi Feng. It's quite interesting. Yi Feng smiled. Just stick it on your cuff and forget about it. The invisible state of the eavesdropping bug can be maintained for a very long time, and in this state, it is almost invincible. Yi Feng continued to take stock of the harvest. Skill, charming. Quality, rare. Description, passive skill. After learning this skill, you will more easily attract the attention and love of the opposite gender. You will exude a unique charm, making the superpowers more willing to interact, communicate and fall in love with you. Is this considered a skill for picking up girls? All beauties fall in love with me. Yi Feng immediately chose to extract skills. Whoosh. In an instant, a origin pearl appeared in the air. Yi Feng reached out and caught it. In an instant, the skill source bead turned into a blue stream of light and integrated into Yi Feng's body. At the same time, the system prompt sounded. Tip. Congratulations on learning the skill Charming. Yi Feng learned the passive skill, Charisma. It seems, nothing has changed. Yi Feng took out the mirror and looked at it carefully. Sword eyebrows and starry eyes, a face like a crown jewel, and an extraordinary temperament. Not a bad skill. Make him, who is already handsome, even more handsome. Continue to check out the harvest. Item, Smell Enhancement Scroll. Quality, Rare. Description, after using the scroll, your sense of smell will be improved to a certain extent. Still an enhanced scroll series. A thought came to my mind. Yi Feng took out the Smell Enhancement Scroll. An exquisite scroll appeared in Yi Feng's hand. Yi Feng gently tore open the scroll. A rich and complex smell mixed together and spread. The next moment, the smells merged and turned into a blue stream of light, pouring into Yi Feng's nose. A magical force quickly strengthened Yi Feng's olfactory nerves. Yi Feng's eyes moved slightly, slowly adapting to the new enhancement. Soon, the strengthening was over. Yi Feng inhaled gently and was surprised to find that the originally bland air was filled with various subtle smells. The aroma of various hot pot ingredients, the smell of decaying flowers and plants, the unique smell of someone's past activities. Yi Feng's heart moved. It seems like someone stayed here not long ago. Yi Feng tried to distinguish every scent. A thought came to my mind. Yi Feng took out some food from the space. Then Yi Feng gently closed his eyes and identified them one by one. The fragrance of apples, the richness of cheese, the smell of cigarettes. Yi Feng was a little emotional. Is this an enhanced sense of smell? It feels pretty good. Yi Feng was satisfied. Today, he has continuously strengthened his hearing, vision, smell. Yi Feng showed a hint of expectation. I wonder what kind of reinforcements will be obtained next. After finishing sorting the harvest, Yi Feng clicked on the panel. Bait 20 servings. There are still 20 fishing opportunities, use them all. System, continue fishing. At the same time, the fishing hook flew out. Consumption of 20 bait, fishing items. Yi Feng breathed a sigh of relief and waited silently for the results. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting +1 Philips 1000 Yuan series electric shaver. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting +1 DVD collector's edition of the martial arts film and television drama, Tian Sha Di Yi. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting +1 bottle of primary reply potion. Tip. Congratulations to the host. Yi Feng's heart moved. I caught a copy of the primary reply potion. It seems that I have obtained it before. Yi Feng was thoughtful. From this point of view, I can fish out items that I have already obtained. This should be considered good news, right? Tip. Fishing in progress. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting the movie, Blind Girl 36 Hours, +1 DVD. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting +1 character album of Young Wife by Gia. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing, for obtaining +1 taste enhancement scroll. Tip. Congratulations. Taste. It really strengthens the 6 senses. This time it's a taste enhancing scroll. Yi Feng raised his eyebrows. Not long after, the fishing was over. The fishing harvest this time was not very great. Yi Feng clicked on the recovery potion to view the details. Item, Primary Reply Potion. Quality, Rare. Description, after use, your physical strength and energy will be restored in a short period of time. Yi Feng had obtained this thing before. A recovery potion that guarantees continued combat. Not bad. I just haven't had a chance to use it yet. Yi Feng placed this bottle of potion and the potions obtained previously in the storage space. Then comes the new reel. Item, Taste Enhancement Scroll. Quality, Rare. Description, after using the scroll, your sense of taste will be improved to a certain extent. 6 Senses Strengthening Series. Taste Strengthening. Yi Feng thought and took out the scroll. A small blue scroll appeared in Yi Feng's hand. Yi Feng tore open the scroll. The next moment, the scroll turned into a stream of blue light, pouring into Yi Feng's body and quickly integrating into Yi Feng's taste buds. Reinforcement continues. Not long after, the strengthening was over. Yi Feng thought and took out a few pieces of chocolate from the space. Put them into your mouth one by one and taste them quietly. There is the bitterness of dark chocolate, the sweetness of milk chocolate, the richness of brownie. Taste enhancement seems to have little significance in combat. It will only make me more picky about food. Yi Feng couldn't laugh or cry. Does this count as negative reinforcement? The previous enhancement of hearing, vision, and smell were of certain help to Yi Feng in assisting in combat and obtaining intelligence. Only the taste is improved, which seems a bit tasteless. Yi Feng didn't think too much. Although this wave of fishing has not greatly improved the strength. But Yi Feng was still very satisfied. Every fishing trip is rewarding. Every strengthening is an improvement. Just like this, little by little, slowly getting stronger. Yi Feng smiled and clicked on the panel to check his existing skills. Chaos Lightning Strike, Storage Space, Malevolent Sense, Divine Blessing, Spirit Detection, Knife Mastery, Shooting Mastery, Fighting Mastery, Driving Mastery, Charisma. Yi Feng smiled slightly and looked at his own combat power assessment. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.